80, 192, just over 200 with the first 5. 200 points of force damage as, and mind the music, your cannon detonates. The new stats for your cannon.
He knocked the needle onto the phonograph in the corner.
The arcane ballistic calibration. When mounting this with one action, your next turn you are able to fire your ballista with a supercharged Prussian artillery battery. All friendlies or enemies within 40 feet of the cannon when firing must pass a con save or take 2d4 force damage and be deafened for approximately 2 turns.
What?
The magical battery fires a rapid burst volley of overcharged charges, firing 5 projectiles that have a range of 120 feet
Supercharged!
each.
Supercharged!
Each can
Supercharged!
land where the caster dictates, each projectile causing 10d8 force or necrotic damage within 15 feet of its place of impact. Dex save negates half of the damage. Once fired, artillery will disassemble and be unusable for a total of 3 long rests until you are able to use it again. The device falls to the ground once used, requiring to be recovered. And I will copy-paste that to you.
Broken arrow, broken arrow, broken arrow.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
God
That's the weird
damn.
fuck setting.
Yeah.
We're just, what was it, 5d8?
I'll copy-paste it here for you.
10d8, 5, 9.
Northwest player!
So whenever you're
Make sure to hit that like button and
And have a stroke, apparently.
I just need everybody to go down the line like Evangelion. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations. You're here for episode fucking, I don't know, 27, 28 now? Session 29? Something like that.
I don't know,
Session
you're
30?
the editor, so you tell me.
I don't keep track of the numbers.
With every freaking episode.
Yeah. I don't remember what number we're on. I'm sorry.
This is 26 because last session was 25, or at least the last one you uploaded was 25.
There we go. Yeah, so this is 27 because I haven't uploaded last week's yet.
Last time on Due West, Wondrous Company spent 30 minutes standing around arguing about firearms.
Yeah, last week on Do Is, they tried to defy the DM with guntism, to which I said, I have the greatest tism, so I make it simple for us tisms to understand. Nah, yeah, last we left off, we will be short one person today. Wondrous Company completed your objectives in good old Egypt and Cairo. Including a bonus objective that awarded you a nice allotment of new fancy-dancy weapons of your choice. And pretty good lump sum of money for each of you, about $1,500 each.
Yeah.
In addition to that, you guys secured one of the greatest religious archaeological finds and items of wonder, specifically the Ark of the Covenant, before it could be stolen by what seemed to be German Abwehr of the Afrika Korps, which were unknown to have been in North Africa at the time, but suspected. Having thwarted the Italians from getting into the right hand of Horus's tomb, however, the untimely escape of Horus's right hand to a unknown region, which will have to be investigated in the future, and will have to be unfortunately debriefed once you guys return back to London. That might be hard to bring up. In addition to that, you guys got some additional items and weapons procured to you that you have stolen, which may also be turned over or kept. All in all, 2 attaboys and a pat on the back, but one ah shit. But it's not a
So later
pressing
becoming-
ah shit for the time being. It might be more. Who knows? We'll see. Wondrous
Later, it's
Company
becoming-
having, or at least half of Wondrous Company having also made acquaintance, you could say, with a deity rumored as to whether they were real or not, has shown themselves to be quite real and rather prevalent, if not lazy, bordering neglectful.
Do we really want to try to explain that to Swinton?
That's up to you guys. But, yeah, we'll pick up with you guys on your flight over the Mediterranean, heading towards Morocco, where you will bounce, pass around Portugal, and make your way up into the backside of London. So, for that time being, I realized I forgot a song, so let me pull it up real quick.
Is it Polta again?
Yo. If YouTube will open for me.
Or when we get to 1939 and they're fighting communists in Finland.
It's a possibility. It might be there. Where is it? I forgot that you guys were gonna be doing the flying, and I needed to do this so you can do the flying with the. Little bit of scuff to start the day. That's always how it happens. There we go. You guys in your nice super Segway sleek plane flying along over the Mediterranean. You got your weapons, got your new attire, and you find yourselves with the chance to really kind of sit back and just let a breath out, despite the comforts and pleasantries of the hotel and of Cairo. It's kind of nice to be stepping away from the desert finally, as the air is much cooler again. For the time being, we'll have Leroy be in the back, perhaps looking over some of the various equipment, making sure it's strapped down. So for the time being, you guys do have approximately 8 hours of flight time. So if there's anything you would like to discuss, maybe figure out among yourselves as to how you're going to present this during the debrief, perhaps go over notes, you are free to.
How are we going to explain this one in the debrief?
Oh, that we let a massively powerful mummy lich lord get away?
Yeah, and the other part.
I don't think we let him get away. I think he escaped.
Well, yeah.
But he escaped very far away, so I think the OSS will see this as a succeeded task, perhaps, and I don't know if I want to broach to the other topic at all.
That's fair.
I think we need to convince OSS that we should have a battleship on standby for when we go hunting down.
It's a lot of convincing. Especially with all these recent tensions, everyone's kind of hauling on to their battleships.
I think we can perhaps convince them to borrow one.
And then do what with it?
Shoot the big guns.
Well, obviously, yes, that's going to happen no matter what. But I mean, you do realize that he fled to a different,
What's up?
universe or dimension, right?
And at some point he will be coming back.
I mean, really?
I would presume so. This is where he is from, unless he
Probably.
is truly a coward.
I mean,
Well, based on what happened, that's probably a good guess. I wouldn't be too happy if I got my ass handed to me by a bunch of mortals, so
Well, I think in essence, it's not that he got his ass handed to him. I think it was just the fact that he happened to underestimate his opponent, and we got a couple lucky strikes in there. Namely, you, Peter, with your your fear effect on him. And since he couldn't come closer to us all being in front of you, he had no choice but to go away. We'll see him again, but I call this a small victory for us.
you got lucky strikes?
I don't, but I'm
No, I
pretty
don't
sure
smoke. Sorry.
we could ask some of the Americans, and they might have it.
Torn, you roll me a perception check
Oh, well.
to warm up the day. Start off the dice roller.
Not bad.
You hear a little bit of a kind of like scoop sound, and down the central aisle of the plane pitches upwards only about a degree, and a half-opened packet of Lucky Strikes comes sliding back from the cockpit down and kind of skids across in front of you.
Oh, that is wanted. Thank you!
No problem, mate.
This plane is magic. It gives us lucky strikes whenever we want it.
I think that was the pilot.
So if he's the pilot,
Pretty surprised they had them. They are British, and this is an American plane.
Well, they're good. I mean, imports and all.
I was going to say if it is in fact, if the Brits worked with the Americans as much in World War I, there's no chance. I mean, there's a good chance that their continued cooperation brought about their addiction to these, what I've heard referred to as death sticks.
American tobacco. Anyways, I think
Now,
I have a letter around here somewhere.
Is that specifically Confederate tobacco, or is that? Does the Union have any tobacco?
Roll me history.
Would I know that? I don't think I would ever know that. I want the Americans roll history.
Yo. Apparently, Lucky Strikes still exist.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
hit them every once in a while. Yeah, if anyone wants to roll history on that is
I-
question.
hell, why not?
Mine was a
Why not?
question, though.
Sure, why not?
You
Oh,
guys are
oh,
debating
I
the
apparently know.
geography of Lucky Strikes while throwing strikes one up
even
in
though
the
I don't
corner.
smoke, I know, apparently.
It's all those times in college where you just, 100% just were smoking like. You went to a college in England, so they had the, not just they had what's it called, spliffs. So you had a lot of spliffs.
I see why people like these so much. There's about 10 seconds where nothing really bothers me that much, and then it goes away.
Does it come back after another 10 seconds?
Yes. Yes, it does.
But I mean, does the feeling of things not bothering you come back after another 10 seconds?
Yes.
Oh, that's good, I guess.
Oh, wait, no, I misheard you.
It only happens once for the 10 seconds, and then you're just back to being miserable?
I wouldn't say miserable, I'd just say very concerned about our current state of affairs and all of the things that I'm thinking about.
Thorin, just remember, worrying's like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere at the end of the day.
I'm not trying to. That was a good one. I'm not trying to worry. It's just inherently part of the way I think about things.
Peter and Hachu. Peter, you know it comes from America. That's about the extent of your knowledge. Hachu, you have full belief that it is a Confederate tobacco brand. But you're not really sure, as that's a little bit further north from you than your neck of the woods. Nikos, for some reason, you decided to do a report when you were slacking your way through college on Lucky Strike and the international trade that goes into making cigarettes and
It was in his
how-
economics class, obviously.
Yeah, it was in your economics class.
Yeah,
Like
that sounds
old
about right.
economics or something.
World
It's
economics.
fucking nat 20. I had to Google this. And now I have to compare it to the Due West universe. You looked into Lucky Strike specifically because they are one of the few American tobacco companies that are both Union and Confederate. And by that, they grow tobacco in United States, Kentucky, and in the Confederate states of Virginia and North Carolina.
Interesting. It's both. They grow it in the U.S. and the Confederate States.
They're actually owned by a British American tobacco group. But I don't know
A
when that
whole
happened.
lot of international cooperation.
Thorin is going to return the pack of cigarettes and then just look at the pile and be like,
Wait, we told you about the 20 mil, right?
You return the cigarettes to who?
a pilot.
Oh, you go walking up there. Yeah, he looks back to you and he'll hold his hand out. Yeah, no problem, mate.
Yeah, right. Hey, it's just, we told you about the 20 mil, right?
The what?
The gun in the front of the plane.
He squints at you for a second, looks to the co-pilot, who looks to you, and then back to him. What are you talking about?
The pedal there on the left near the co-pilot's foot. That's a trigger for a 20 millimeter cannon in the nose of the aircraft. Are you telling me you did? I thought I told someone about this.
The pilot leans a little bit, co-pilot looks at it, takes his foot off of it as it was resting against it. Ah. Why is that in there?
We found it!
Yeah, we found it.
You
And
found
had
it.
installed.
And it... Well,
Yeah. We had it installed for the sake of potential necessity, given that we have the potential to come across more nefarious people on our journeys.
We get into some shit.
I understand that, but the point of this plane is to be non-combatant and, well, you know, fast. We're your
it's
pilots
hidden.
for a reason. We evade danger, not get into it.
No, if we get into it now, you got a little bit of a backup.
So you press the pedal and that engages the, how many rounds do we have then?
I forgot, but Thorin would know.
I'm pretty sure it's either 100 or 50.
It was like 50 rounds. It's like a glorified 2-second burst out of this thing.
Oh, it's more than that because the span is pretty slow, but
I believe it's a 50 round drum, and there's some extras, but to reload it, you kind of have to go into the crawl space below the, right below the seat there, and change it out by hand. That's what you did.
Duly noted. How are you proposing we aim it?
You just fly at the thing, and then I think there's a tracer doing it, right?
it does come straight out the nose.
And it's just kind of straight ahead.
You see him kind of look to the co-pilot. He looks back at him, gives what seems to be a knowing nod, and the co-pilot will put his left foot on it and will kind of feather it just a little bit, and the pilot himself kind of sits back, gets really square into his chair looking forward, and all of you will hear a single pump. Again. Pump.
It works. Look at that.
Alright, one more. Pump. Pump. Alright. You see the pilot lean forward and pulls a little razor blade and starts making a little bitty X in the windshield. Just scratches a little X into it, then puts a little small circle around it. Alright then.
That's very clever. I didn't think of that. You see, there's a lot of practical applications from you guys that I just learned through experience.
Well, if we are having to use this for some reason, forbid we're in some sort of dive, I'd like to know where we're hitting.
Sure, this plane could dive, kinda, right?
They
It's
find a
still
way
a
to
minibar.
put like a wood block under it for now as a safety. I'm assuming there's nothing keeping that. He's like, yeah, right. Okay. And he starts leaning down and buckles himself, and he's starting to like try to find some trash or something to make like a makeshift safety so you can't compress it for now.
Just chilling on the runway, kicked back, just oh shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, could you imagine it diving that thing? Dude, you'd spill the whole fucking minibar.
Oh god.
I mean, how many airliners can you think of that took a like a Stuka type dive? Got out of it just fine.
There was that one
a lot.
747 that did it while overloaded with refugees. Had like 700 people on the plane.
A lot have actually done it, but usually people aren't okay afterwards.
Yeah. This plane
That's
could be
our
an attack
problem,
plane.
though.
It's based off the it's kind of like the Mosquito. It shouldn't be a combat plane, but it can be.
The pilots are usually fine though, so it's our problem when they do it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm okay with that. I think we
Speak to
can.
yourself. I could just stick to the side of the plane and I'll just go with the physics of it.
Just, hey, you guys ever experienced -3 G's? Hold on.
I could flatten myself out, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Welcome to OSS's first vomit comet.
Oh god.
Yeah, you've heard of the de Havilland Comet before. Now, how about the pre-comet, the vomit?
Are we flying a de Havilland?
Yeah.
Yes, we
No,
are.
it's the Albatross. De Havilland
Oh, it's an Albatross? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've heard of the de Havilland comet. Now get ready for the de Havilland vomit comet.
But I thought that de Havilland is the manufacturer.
Yeah,
He made a lot of crazy experimental fun planes.
yeah. The de Havilland comet is the comet was the first jet passenger plane.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And
That
then they
Blew up several times.
It got too much body flex, and then it explosive decompression, and they said, "Oh, we need to stop doing that."
They fixed it. Took them a
Eventually
while
the
to figure
same
out what was
company-
going on, but they fixed it.
It didn't save the company though.
As you guys are flying along, you end up hanging out for a little while. We're gonna do a little bit of a fast forward to, I'm assuming, some of you guys getting some sleep while flying on the plane. Can I ask everybody except for Hachu to bounce down to Chit Chat Chat for right now?
Oh boy. I'm being held ransom. Help me.
Technically, we'd be bouncing up, just throwing that out there.
Alright. Hachu, everyone's hanging out. You're getting a pretty good rest in. Kind of close your eyes, coil up in your seat halfway, and start relaxing. What's the average, like, Hachu dream consist of?
This is really hard for somebody who never dreams. How do
Does
I
Hachu
visualize a
ever dream?
You know what? Yeah, he does. He dreams of just like peaceful street in New Orleans. Like
Peaceful New Orleans streets, kind of strolling around and hanging out?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah, he's probably having another one of his, not quite dreams that are like a flashback, but kind of one of those ones where he's imagining, like, kind of a memory, kind of a ideal, like, when you think of, oh wow, this would be real nice to just walk around in, like, the middle of September, it'd be nice, it'd be kind of humid, some of the music is going in the background, the lights, like, just the familiarity and warmth of it. It's kind of going across his mind. And as you're walking, I would like you, or slithering rather, I would like you to give me a deck save.
Good. Hang on, I had the thing pulled up in the window. There we go. Oh.
As you start to slither forward along the kind of cobblestoned roads and some of it being pavement, it's very much parts of New Orleans, you realize there are like 8 layers. You can see the old sidewalks to the new roads. The side gutters are different. Like it's very much a layered city. Yes.
Can't help themselves.
Damn.
State on trail.
Fuck. As you're going along, you start to realize the street, although level and flat as you slither forward, is starting to slope forward, almost like the world's kind of teetering forward more. And it starts to get to more of an angle, about 3 degrees, 4 degrees. And all of a sudden you find yourself, albeit on a flat plane of ground, you're practically touching your back to the mid part of the rest of your body as you're having to lean back and kind of hold yourself. Your hands have to start touching the road beside you as you start to slip and slide down the asphalt, and you are now falling vertically down a horizontal plane, sliding down the road. I would like you to give me a con save, please.
Well, I got +2 instead of +1, so here goes nothing. Damn, not that either.
As you're sliding down, there is a trolley in the intersection at the end of the street, and as you plummet towards it, trying to grab onto the asphalt of this horizontal but vertical fall, you slam into the side of it, and for a moment, you black out. As you start to kind of feel a bit of a crick, you're kind of coiled on top of yourself in the way you landed. You feel kind of a sulfur and sort of ashy type of sand and dirt underneath you. It's very soft, but also really, really warm. It's kind of that ashy dust that sticks to you and leaves kind of a coat on you when you touch it, almost like sticking your hand into a fireplace. And you kind of raise up from it for a moment. It's kind of stuck to your face. It's all over your suit, your body. Give me a perception roll, please.
Good lord.
You're not quite sure where you're at. Even though your dark vision is kind of kicking in, your pupils are getting even thinner. The kind of yellowish ring around the edge of your eyes are starting to shine. And you're trying to look outwards, but you're not able to see any further than 10, 15 feet around you. It seems like you're on the top of a very kind of gentle mound of what just seems to be sulfur and ash, almost like you're on top of a ash pit outside a factory. And you can't see any further out than about 10 feet as it goes slightly down slope in all directions. But for a split moment, you start to hear what seems to be a little bit of a tune kind of in the background, kind of slowly trailing and very gently gaining little by little. Roll me another perception check if you would. You kind of start looking side to side, wondering what's going on, where exactly you're at, why you're hearing this kind of familiar tune, but not really. It feels like it's not actually being heard, but like it's just ambient. Almost like it's just the ambient sound in whatever this space or room might be. And you get the notion that there is definitely walls to it somewhere, because there is a very faint echo, which implies that there must be walls. What would you like to do for the moment?
Kind of uncurl and sort of stand, well, I shouldn't say stand up, but spring up, and kind of just look around and, like, slither forward a little bit, I guess.
Alrighty. As you start to slither off the top of this mound and you start going kind of down the side of it, you're sinking a bit into this soft ash and kind of doing that, like, slide with it as it's kind of starting to roll down with you. And as you go up, you lose sight of the mound behind you as you get about 10, 15, 20 feet down the slope of ash. What would you like to do? Continue down, or...?
Yeah, I'll keep going down.
Alright. You continue to slither down for a little while, and it feels like it's not really going to end for at least a couple moments, as you can only see 10 feet in front and behind you. The only notion of direction you have is you know you are going straight down one of the sides of this slope of ash and dust, but there's not really any semblance of anything else other than this odd kind of crackly ambience and music that's playing. And then you start to feel it on your belly, and as you're slithering down, the soft ash is starting to get slightly more coarse, slightly more, not quite gravelly, but more like you took a burnt log that was all blacked and embered, and started chipping it up and turning that into kind of a powdery dust of sorts. As it starts to feel a little more rough, it starts to feel more grainy. And then it pokes you. Something not quite sharp, but pointy enough is sticking out, and it brushes up against your side a bit as you're slithering down.
I go to look what that is.
Give me an investigation.
There's something I can find, but...
Ooh. You reach down, and you're able to grab what seems to be a... In your kind of dark vision that you have, color's a little bit different, but it seems to be kind of a bonish, white-gray fragment of something, almost like a piece of porcelain. And you pluck it out, and it keeps rising up higher and higher until it finally emerges out fully. It's about 8 inches of what seems to be a larger bone, likely from a leg, that has been fractured in half.
Alright. Nick, is there anything extra about the bone, I guess, or?
Roll me another investigation. We'll see if you can figure out what exactly. Ooh, damn. Yeah, I guess you have enough knowledge of this. It is definitely a human femur that seems to have been snapped in half. And judging by the kind of color and gray of it, it wasn't, for lack of better words, it wasn't from decomposition, and it was not from being forcibly separated. Looking at some of the ends of it and a few of the kind of discoloration at different parts of it, it seems like it may have been slightly sandblasted, for lack of better words, by sitting in all this ash, but it seems like it separated from the rest of the leg or body because the body may be what consists of the ash that you're currently standing in.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna just keep holding them. I'm gonna keep holding the bone and keep moving forward.
Good. You hold the bone in hand,
Just
and you kind of slowly continue your way further down the slope. And after about another 15-20 seconds of slithering down what seems to be just a massive gradual ash pile, the fact that it's taken you about 40 seconds of steady movement, and it doesn't seem to be letting up at all. As you're continuing along it, you see a couple of those, kind of like in snow, where a small kind of like ball will start and it will roll down and gain more traction and get bigger and then dissipate again and scatter out. There's a little bit of that happening past you as you're continuing down. You're causing a nice little kind of streamlined ripple behind you, left in the ash. And you're starting to feel more of it. Another poke, another couple more bristles, what feels like maybe some bony fingertips kind of scrape against you as you're continuing down. And you start to realize it goes much less from ash and soot and much more to a kind of gravelly, charcoaled mix of ash, dust, bone, bark, and what seems to be all assortments of fractured and whole and put together bones. It's almost kind of hard to tell exactly what or who they belong to, but it's definitely what seems to be bones out of hands, legs, what seems to be the bottom half of what was definitely a rib cage at one point. As you're continuing down, give me another perception. You brush over it, and with the kind of uncanny feeling of bone mixed in with ash that you're trying to slide over, almost like too many seashells in a beach kind of mixture. As you continue down, you almost miss it for a second, but you look down beneath you, and you see what looks like a kind of reptilian snake-like skull, or at least the top half of one, minus the bottom jaw, is partially sticking out of that kind of ashy mix. It's perfectly bleached white, almost like it was like pressure cooked. Everything was cooked off of it.
I'm not really sure what to make of that. I guess I just kind of examine the pile a little bit more.
Alright, you kind of lean down to it and look at it, and you see the top of the skull, and you're like, okay, well, this might be another Yuan-ti, perhaps, judging by the size and shape of it. Another kind of smoother-headed sort of breed or species, and you kind of grab it and raise it up out of the sand, and as it pulls up, there's a slight little kink, a little bit of a grab motion behind it before you hear a little bit of a disconnect. And the skull at least the top half of the skull fully pops out of this ash pile, throwing some of the dust up in the air. And you have a Yuan-ti, very pristine and nicely preserved skull, or at least the top half of it. And kind of looking down, it seems like the rest of the body is buried in this huge mound that you're on that is kind of mixed in with tons of other fragments and bits of bone and body and other mix. It, for lack of better words, it's like you're in a crematorium that doesn't remove the bone as well.
Interesting.
After a couple moments, you start to feel a little bit of a warmth, a little bit of a heat, and you're able to kind of look outwards where you can see a singular kind of point in this vast pitch darkness, a singular point of what seems to be almost like a lighter flame. Maybe trying to use your dark vision, maybe 200-300 yards away.
I just start making my way towards it.
You start slithering downwards, and you realize it's a little bit downslope. It's kind of hard to figure out what exactly is the horizon in this place, because you don't know how high above ground level, in quotations, you are. But you're slithering your way down, and you're realizing you're getting closer to being at a even level with it as you continue more and more and more. And as the ash pile finally starts to level out a little bit, it is no longer a mound, but starts to level out to just a beach-like dust and bone and ash texture that extends out in front of you horizontally. You start sliding your way over it and slithering forward towards that little bitty flame. And it doesn't take very long for you to realize the flame is also slowly gaining closer to you as you're making your way towards it. And that starts to dawn on you a bit quicker as you realize it's not a lighter or a match flame. It is, in fact, judging by the kind of ripples, a very, very large flame. Just at such a distance it looks like a match flame. How would you like to proceed?
How does magic work in dreams?
Don't know. Might have to
Don't
find
know.
out. Might have to figure that out. Dream magic is a little bit outside of your purview of necromantic.
I just... I just kind of move a little bit more closer to it.
As you start advancing a bit closer to it, it seems to get a little bit closer, but it's in a weird way that whatever speed you're going, it seems to be going that same speed. It's almost like a weird visual distance effect as you try to get closer to it. Almost like you're moving at double speed, but not at double speed. It's a weird sort of visual that is kind of throwing you off as far as your depth perception goes. As you continue towards it, you get what feels like maybe about 50 yards away from it before your vision, you're no longer going to need dark vision, as that one flame flanking it on the left and right, two more flames, poof poof, and then two more flames beside those pop up, and two more, and if your eyes try to track it, you'll find yourself going wide-eyed as all the way around you to the left and to the right until you lose vision of it behind you, probably because that's the edges of this giant ash mound that you made your way down. The entire, assumedly, edge of this massive chamber is now lined with what looks like a whole line of giant pilot flames in the distance. Almost like a oven of sorts. As it kind of illuminates the room, you can see that it is a massive, possibly brass, chamber. Almost like if you're familiar with those cast iron heaters and cookers and like the old houses, the stovepipe ones. It's almost like you're inside the belly of one of those, but there's a ring of pilot lights that run along the middle edge of it that illuminate and start to heat up the inside. It starts to feel warmer. It starts to feel kind of short on air as the heat keeps getting larger. And you find yourself looking back towards that first central flame, and you can see what looks like a sort of figure that, for lack of better words, give me a perception, actually. We'll see how much of them you can make out.
Okay. Okay.
You peek out and you're able to see relatively clearly. You got pretty good vision as a reptile. You kind of ocular zoom in, for lack of better words, and it seems to be a large, maybe 6.5 feet tall, maybe 7. Somewhere in that range. Definitely humanoid shape. And they're wearing what looks kind of like... to really kind of simplify it, almost like a black business day suit of sorts, pants and top. However, it seems instead of a dress shirt underneath, it might be a copper breastplate, maybe. And over the shoulders, there seems to be possible shoulder pauldrons of some sort, but very low profile, kind of very immaculate ones. And over the head, you can see it's a assumedly normal person-shaped head. However, there is two very visible, if you're familiar with the Teutonic Knights, how they have horns on their helmets.
Yeah.
There's two kind of deer antler style horns branching off the top left and top right. Not so much attached to the helmet, but through holes in the helmet. And the face guard. Normally, what would look like a kind of English knight style grate that just has 5 slivers that run across the face for vision. It kind of looks like that, but a little more ovaled. And it, for a half moment, brings back a little bit of a memory of cooking biscuits or bacon or just any food in the cast iron cooker in the corner of the old room that you were raised and grew up in. It almost looks like the front of a cast iron oven, the grating over the helmet. And behind it, there's no face. There is what looks like a kind of bluish green pilot flame instead. And with that 23, you look at this and take all that in, and you can tell it is, in quotations, looking right back at you.
Oh, I'll just go. Well, do you mind telling me why I'm here?
Well, to sign your pact.
Your audio cut out.
Oh, sorry. Well, to sign your pact.
My pact?
You've generated offspring, have you not?
Ah, that would be correct now, wouldn't it?
Then am I not justified to collect on 50% of that? That was the deal when I granted you my ability.
That would be the deal, wouldn't it?
I'm assuming you have no memory and you don't know who I am.
You would be very correct in that assumption.
Well, allow me to introduce myself. You can just call me Couch.
Hey, Mr. Couch, right?
Correct. I believe it was your procurer, your parent figure, who saw fit to conduct the ritual to bless you with powers of a otherworldly or deep-worldly nature, such as myself. And as you can see, I haven't had any new, should I say, deals for a fair while. At least not since... Oh, how does your silly Gregorian calendar work? I believe it was 1867 by your date. I knew a young girl who would tend to graves. Funnily enough, her last name was Graves. Penelope. Very cute, very strong, very well-mannered. And she procured for me, through grave tending, many souls. As you can see by the rather profound pile behind you that you're currently standing in. But I wish for this chamber to fill, and I haven't been able to do that. I may have hijacked the deal that was to be made through your parent figure, and have taken you under my own wing. I figured now would be a better time as any to introduce myself, seeing as it would seem someone else, in some way, is using the magic that I have granted you to use. Even so, in your likeness. I did not grant that, so I wonder how they are able to utilize it. What I ask of you, I don't work for free, and neither will you. I will collect on 50% of your offspring at a time of my choosing, perhaps when I feel there has not been enough bodies here. But in addition to that, call me fair. Devils often are the fairest when it comes to deals. Every soul you take, every person and creature you kill, if it does bear a soul, I suggest you use that magic that I've granted you to ensure it ends up here, so I may fulfill myself on their mass. As you see all of the burner lights kick up a bit higher and start flaming kind of yellowish orange and start very rapidly starting to superheat the inside of this obviously like giant brass boiler that you're standing in. As some of the ash starts to shift, some of the bones start to sink and rubble a little bit, and you realize you are in fact inside a giant, for lack of better words, smelter. He kind of reaches into his, inside his jacket and pulls out out of his pocket what looks like a tiny roll of paper and starts unrolling it as it seems to be a very, very long scroll, almost like a fucking clown trick, and is unrolling it further and further, and then stops and looks at it, flicks it as it rolls back up, puts it back in his vest. Bring me, for starters, 30 souls, and that will sustain me for a while, and I may readdress the 50 percentile on our deal. Or, if you would rather end this deal now, you can be like your brethren behind you. And he kind of motions towards the, what seems to be left of a absolutely pressure-cooked Yuan-Ti bone series sticking out of the dust some and the skull in your hand. Do we have a deal?
I think that could be arranged.
Very good. Find who's using your likeness, or who used your likeness in my power, and eliminate them entirely. I don't wish for them to even arrive here. Bring me 30 souls or bodies over your next day's endeavors, and that'll sustain me for a while, because it's been so long. And we will see about the 50%. Ta-ta. And he kind of turns around and starts walking his way off into what seems to be kind of a voided distance, almost kind of disappearing into the wall. And I would like you to make me a con save. You do not last very long as the heater eyes kick up higher, the flames start going higher and start rolling off the side walls of this large chamber you're inside. And when I say large, this is like football stadium with a dome over the top large. As the sides of it start cooking, start heating, the ash is starting to get hot to the touch, everything's starting to shift. And as you without going too deep into it, you're essentially gonna go through about 4 minutes of very unfortunate snake in the oven before you're going to find yourself snapping awake and jostling your head and bashing your head against the head of the chair that you're currently sitting in, looking to the rest of the party. And I will bring them back in.
Damn. Oh,
Have to wear pants to school.
Oh, the last one? That's rude.
Oh,
Yeah, we were lecturing Wilhelm on the existence of roof Koreans.
The chats that go on when we're in a different channel.
As you guys are all sitting there and kind of talking among yourselves as the plane's going, some of you napping, some of you resting, Hachu is currently kind of semi-coiled, leaned up into one of his corner chairs, almost like a booth seat in the dining
Torn
section.
is bothering the pilots about specifically IFR conditions.
Ooh, okay.
Conditions.
Gotcha. Alright, so you're bugging them with that.
Fucking little
Everyone's
shit.
kind of sitting by and hanging out. Torn, give me a perception roll, please.
Oh. 21 again.
Very good. Okay. Give me una memento here. As you're talking to him about IFR, and I'm not gonna try to pretend I know enough about IFR to do that, so as you're talking with him, you start to hear in your pocket,
And he's gone.
He left forever.
No,
Ah,
it's just
okay.
you start the stream back up.
oh, is it not there?
No, it is. It's just you pulled us back in and we hadn't clicked on the stream.
Oh, rejoin.
Oh yeah, that's valid. That's valid.
Yeah, maybe restart that, whatever it was.
Gotcha.
Redo this.
Alright, yeah. You start to hear playing in your pocket over the sound of the engines and the wind going past.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can
Yep.
hear.
Yes.
Fuck, Discord's saying it can't hear me.
We can hear.
Well, we're not Discord. We're better.
Give me one moment, pilot. That virtual horizon it is very interesting, but my music box is playing, so I need to go over for a minute.
My music box is playing.
Torrent's gonna try to find this, fish it out. Is it closed?
It is closed, but currently playing.
He's gonna kind of walk back in, holding it, like looking around, like.
It's just playing music.
aw.
That's generally what music boxes do.
It's not open. I didn't do anything. It just started.
All of you are going to be startled as you're looking to Torn walking in with the playing music box that isn't open, as Hachu jerks and jolts awake, and it bashes the back of his head against the headrest of his chair, and kind of slides out of his stool, looking like he just got blasted by one of Wilhelm's force spells.
You alright?
Hachu, are you okay?
Oh,
Something is happening.
oh god.
Bad dream? I have those from time to time.
Yeah, you can call it that, alright. I just kind of. I should say stumble up because I have no legs, but.
Dumble slither.
Yeah, it's like
Wobble.
uncoil back up.
Elevate yourself.
Yeah,
I think
re-elevate
wobble would be the
myself.
appropriate word.
Hachi, can I ask that you elaborate? You just had a bad dream, and this is now playing something, and coincidences don't seem to happen around us.
Well, it's I don't really know how it works, but it's definitely not a coincidence.
Oh yes, that's what I'm implying.
Torrent's gonna like open it.
As you open it, it stops.
What? That's not how things work.
Oh well, that's.
Oh, hey, it stopped.
Oh, no.
He's gonna close it. He's gonna open it. He's gonna close it.
Did anyone recognize the song that was playing?
Did the song change, or was that just me?
That one is mine.
Well, it was playing when it was closed. I didn't recognize it. I don't think so.
He's
There any of
gonna-
us who have a chance to roll for what it was, or no?
I can tell you, none of you would recognize the song. The one that
Including
might
Haku?
recognize
Would
it,
Leroy know it?
the one that might recognize it isn't here this session.
I guess someone's gonna move over to Hachu and like hand it over to him, or like hold it out and be like, yeah.
Make it do it again.
Do it again. Well, I'd rather not be engulfed in pilot flames, but hey, I'll open it.
What?
You say? Excuse me. Did you just say pilot flames?
Yeah,
As it flips open,
it's a different song. Well,
Should we go through everybody and just see if it changes? Depends on the person who opens it, like it normally does.
Well, that's what it's doing. That's what it's meant to do. It's
But
just.
I mean, to the song that it was playing when it was going off in your pocket.
It's worth a shot.
I mean, what other option do we have?
Didn't we do this already after coming out of the tomb?
Yes, but before we came out of the tomb, we didn't have it go off in somebody's pocket without actually being opened.
That is fair.
Hachu, what? You sure it was a dream? Like what?
well,
what
it
happened?
worked like a dream, but it was a lot more real than that, feeling-wise.
You know, I feel like I could probably relate.
Do you want to share with the class?
Yeah, Sure. Does the name Couch ring a bell to anybody?
Couch?
Isn't that something you
Ouch.
sit on when you're tired?
No, that's a Klein.
Torn is gonna elbow Nikos.
Can't say that couch.
Would any of us
sound-
know that, DM? Or have a chance?
Probably not. I don't know.
the
Not like a
Torn
religion roll?
can make a very difficult history roll. The only other one that might know would be Leroy, and he is not here today.
21.
Ooh.
21 couches!
Torin, digging back into your memory and trying to kind of remember some of your reading, and kind of basing it off of what you know of Louisiana and Hachu's background and involvements, you try to dig back and you just barely come up with a possible name. Let me send it to you. But unfortunately, other than name, you don't know anything else about it.
Couch, I swear, and also give that back. You're holding it wrong.
Oh, yeah, have it back.
Thank you. Couch. No, so not like.
He closes it.
Are we passing it around?
Why not? I'd take it next.
Yeah, go.
Cover it. The couch, devil. I've heard the name. I can't remember anything else. Just the name. I might have glanced over it once or twice. Am I onto something here? Hachu?
Yeah, that sounds like a good description.
You know, your lack of your withholding of information is starting to prove slightly irksome. Could you perhaps just elaborate a little bit more? I'm trying to figure out why my music box just started playing a song that I don't think belongs to any of us. All closed.
No, that part I'm not sure I can explain, but what I can explain is I'm pretty sure I just had a meeting with the devil.
Oh, so
Ah,
kind of an opposite of okay. What did he want with you?
Or to put this the most simple way, well, for one, he wants me to find who impersonated me and try to kill Mr. Long.
Well, we were gonna do that anyways, so I mean, it's almost like you got given a task that wasn't impossible. That must feel pretty good, huh?
yeah.
Just silently, yeah, from the corner.
Also, why would the devil care?
Well, it has to do with my abilities.
Your necromantic abilities?
Yes.
So wait, wait. I'm slightly lost. Is Couch the name of the devil?
Kashimar.
Who?
Kashimar.
Kaushamor?
I mean, I don't know the pronunciation exactly. I read it in a book. I don't know the accent, but Kashimar.
Because I tried looking it up, but I didn't know how to fucking spell it, so I just came up with a bunch of bullshit, so...
Good luck.
So wait, are you beholden to this devil?
Well,
Like-
I don't have much memory of this, apparently, but my father, I guess you could call him that, did a form of a ritual that gave me these powers.
Oh, so your powers aren't learned like a lot of mages?
Well, some of it is. Some of it definitely is, but not all of it.
Wow.
Hey, DM, would I know the difference between like essentially like school taught arcane casters and like essentially like sorcerers versus wizards?
There's not too awful much difference other than essentially whether you see them using a focus or a book or not. And to your knowledge, Hachu is a wizard who doesn't really have to open or hold his book to cast when he casts, which isn't
Okay.
super common for wizards.
Okay. But from my knowledge, I don't know like the difference between like like you like you said a focus spellcaster and
No,
like
you
a
definitely
innate.
have a idea of it, having seen some of it on the battlefield, especially among other artillerists.
Okay.
The practice of like throwing your magic through a device or a focus or someone able to just latently catch it. But you do know there, at least from your minor experience, there's a significant difference in the abilities between those two casting types.
So, Hachu, I have to ask a question. Are you more of an innate caster, or are you more of a arcane focus caster? I don't think arcane focus is the word I'm looking for. A innate or using or requiring components or a focus.
I would, as more innate, I'd say.
And could your innate powers have possibly come from this deal that your father made with the devil?
Well, he directly told me that that's what the case was, so...
Okay.
You
Yes.
probably shouldn't trust everything a devil tells you.
I mean, it is a devil. They're, as far as I've seen, their main thing is to trick someone into making a deal with them. But that's more a lore that I've learned than anything, and that's very limited. That's pretty much the extent of my lore.
That's great. Nachi's father made a deal with the devil to bestow powers upon himself, and
Wait, maybe we can use this devil to fight this god, and then we win.
What?
That is probably going to only make things worse.
Yes, I know. I just want to be that guy who says something completely ridiculous and.
Well, he also did ask me to gather 30 souls for him, so.
Wait.
Yeah, we are not doing that.
He did say it can be whoever and whatever, as long as it has a soul.
So.
I stand by my
30
statement.
rabbits?
He didn't specify that much.
Do you eat rabbits? I don't know. I feel like. Well, do dolphins have souls? They kind of speak kind of similar to us.
No, they don't.
They have higher forms of communication, is what I mean. But I mean. Wait, what year did Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? No, that was the 50s. Damn.
Yeah, we're still a while after that comes out.
I know. I just wanted to make us so long and thanks for all the fish reference.
Well, this is information.
Does this? Is there anywhere you have to go to essentially broker this deal after you complete it, or is it something that just happens?
I'm not really sure. I feel like once I do, or if I do it, he'll let me know.
He'll let you know.
Did he tell you how you're supposed to collect these souls?
I mean, I imagine the traditional way, just killing people, right?
I think there's extra steps involved.
Yeah, because we kill people all the time.
Yeah, no, the way he
Hardcore.
said it felt like there was a certain way I needed to do it, but he was a little unclear on how it worked.
Well, I assume I mean, Peter, tell me if I'm wrong here, but when you are on the battlefield and there is a soul that needs sanctifying, or just any type of unfortunate person that dies within coming into contact with someone in the battle, you normally perform a sanctifying action, such as praying to a god, and that's supposed to save their soul, right? Is it something similar to that, only in reverse? Not saying we do this. I'm just.
We are not doing this. That is
like
the end of the discussion.
I don't
Sorry,
think you'll find much argument for doing this. It seems like a bad idea.
It was more of academic inquiry? Academic curiosity. Yes, that is the word. Academic curiosity. Why did I go French there?
No, I'm just a little bit conflicted here because you're a very powerful ethereal being tells you to do something as I don't want to say no.
Well, he did say he's going to take 50% of my offspring.
How many offsprings do Snake really usually have? How many were in your clutch?
Considering I don't know any of my I guess I had siblings. I have no idea. I don't know any of them.
You said you don't remember much of your birth/upbringing?
Not
Sorry to.
Not like until after I was already like, I don't know, like a kid, I guess. But before that, I don't know.
What, like a toddler, like most humans? Thorin, when did you become sentient?
About 8 months.
I think generally for I don't want to say normal people. I'm sorry, that is a bad word.
Wow.
Yes. For
Humans?
Man, that's crazy.
humans.
Man.
Racism on the plane.
Well, I mean, he is German, so, you know.
I guess that does go hand in hand.
You are not the master. For the for humans, I think it's around 3 to 4 years. That's my understanding of myself. I don't know if Peter, you're around the same thing.
It can vary. It depends on person. I would say, on average, 3 to 4 years at the widest distance, maybe a year and a half to about 6 at the latest.
It's generally defined by the development of language skills.
I would not necessarily say so, but that is as good a way as any.
And I just want to point this out, Peter, that I'm not saying we go ahead and do this. What I'm more saying is, I'm going French again. What I'm more saying is...
The duo from Prussia, not Alsace.
Yeah, I know, right? It's the academic curiosity that I have in my mind that pulls a lot of this knowledge. Why Russian again? Damn it.
I understand where you are coming from, but some things are best left not messed with. Especially by those not trained in it.
I think it would be wise to know how it works so we can avoid it completely.
That's a good philosophy to have. I think that's where I was coming from with my mentality. I found it finally. The knowing to avoid it is more of what I was thinking of.
I'm not for it, but I'm afraid that this might put our snake friend in a concerning predicament no matter what we do or don't do.
I think we are in some sort of predicament right now, and it would be smart if we learned more without exactly dabbling over that line.
Torin's gonna roll his eyes and go over to the bar in the corner and pour 2 glasses of something amber.
Can
Something amber
Torin,
doesn't even
can I-
specify.
Yeah.
Can I trouble you for one as well?
3 glasses of something amber.
Perhaps
Make it
something
more.
clear would be more appropriate.
And 1 glass of something clear.
It's actually just Sambuca.
One thing of vodka and 3 things of, like, I don't know, bourbon.
Whiskey.
Yeah, he's gonna stroll back over, hand him out. He's gonna go up to Hachu and, like, tap him on the breast with it, expectantly.
Wait, can you reach his breast?
Kind of. Well, yeah, you can stand.
Yeah,
like
up
Coiled
above his
City
head.
State. Yeah, you can poke him.
It's like a
Hachu
kid trying
can't
to...
exactly be fully elevated inside the airplane.
Yeah.
He's gonna keep tapping until you take it, Hachu.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I probably should have had it, shouldn't I? Just down it.
Prost. Drink it as well.
I forgot the toast, so I don't even know what the toast. Whatever.
Just say Prost and drink.
Prost, what does that mean?
It means cheers in your language, I believe.
Prost.
Roast. Alright, time to find out what he poured me.
It's just water. No, it's not. It's, I don't know, it's something clear.
It's well water. Oh god, no, it's fine.
You gave him some Everclear.
Oh god.
Poor
This is
bastard.
regular,
Kind of
straightforward
what I was
vodka.
going for.
Yeah, it's just regular vodka. Not being nefarious or nothing.
Still kind of struggling with the realization that a lot of my academic history has kind of been undone by the advent of this new thing where apparently everyone's god exists. like all of them, or did, or do.
How do you think I feel about it?
Oh yeah, that's gotta be awkward knowing there's like, you're like that your god isn't even like the one in charge. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said that, huh?
My god managed to put fear into there. Hey, the fucking Horus guy.
Yeah, he did. Huh?
That is
Good
true.
point. That's a very good point.
Can we talk about essentially what happened in the crypt, for lack of a better word, with me, Torin, and Nikos?
We haven't really told them much about that, have we?
No, I think if we dive into it very well, then it might also shine some light on this Hachu situation in some regards. Maybe that's why he didn't get chosen, and Peter obviously has his god. I don't know about Leroy. Well,
I don't know. That's a lot to talk about. I'm still reeling from it a bit.
Well, I feel like, in general, we have to debrief when we get back. So if we talk about it a little bit right now, then maybe we can just form thoughts for a quick debrief synopsis, if we even want to tell the British.
Oh yeah, just show up and be like, hey, Swinton, I met a giant space dragon that showed me multiple universes, and they hit the multiple universes and then told me I had to kill a god. Yes, that'll go over so well.
Okay, so maybe we hide it from the British right now. But I feel like seeing as Hachi was straightforward with us about something that just happened to us. You don't even have to talk. I can talk about most of it.
I prefer it if you did that, actually.
Okay, so Hachu or Nikos, feel free to chime in if I forget any of the details. Essentially, what happened was when we stepped on the dais, Nikos, Torin, and I were essentially transported to an interdimensional vortex, or not vortex, more as
Space, just space itself, practically.
Yeah, void. An interdimensional void, I guess, is the best way to kind of explain it. And we met a god, and or he called himself a god. He called himself the god.
Azarath.
Azarath. But he said he'd also been known by many different names,
Including Ra at one
including
point,
yes,
apparently.
yes, he was the sun god, according to him. So he's existed in multiple different theologies and multiple different religions, spiritualities. But what he said was that obviously we need to kill Horus, and
because he was rather annoyed with us for intruding into the tomb itself.
Yes, and it basically was him saying that because we got into this mess, we need to kind of fix it.
Don't forget the part where he told us what would happen if we didn't fix it.
Oh yeah, there would be essentially he would intervene, and there would just basically be destruction of our universe as we know it.
No, not ours.
The threads of our fate would be cut or changed.
Specifically us.
Yeah.
Nikos got it. Our universe will probably be fine. It'll just be us. Sorry, I'm a bit stressed out.
Yeah, and he did show us essentially his power to create and destroy universes in what felt like both an eternity and an instant. it was the strangest feeling to see a whole universe born and die. And you felt all of that happen as if you were there for the whole time, but it literally happened in an instant.
Makes
And-
me feel a bit existential, doesn't it?
It's. I understand your crisis, and I think we might need just the whole bottle over here at this point.
I'll go get it.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
So long story short, that I think we need to solve this Horus problem sooner rather than later, so that way our threads aren't cut. But he also did mark us, the three of us. And I think he marked us with something. He referred to it as the ninefold wheel.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, and I don't know if anybody know what we should do.
Pecatrix.
Yes, I think when we should get back, we should talk to Pecatrix and see if he knows anything about the ninefold wheel. But I think only the four of us should go. The three of us and Hachu.
You might have some insight on that demon too.
Yeah.
I got it.
My thought is maybe we were chosen, one, because of our proximity, and two, because the others have some sort of other, I don't want to say deity, but something kind of beholden to their power.
Yeah, that bottle was fucking loud.
Yeah, it makes me want to scotch right now, to be honest.
Shit.
I don't know, Peter, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't know if he is representative of your god or something completely different.
See if this picks up on them.
Not saying that yours doesn't exist. I just don't know how
that didn't.
the power plays in this whole thing.
Oh, believe me, mine definitely does exist.
Oh,
Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be standing here.
yes, and that's what I don't mean anything negative by that. What I'm saying is, he might be the same person, and you're already blessed by him in a different way. It was the most confusing conversation I've ever had with anybody, which makes sense, seeing as it was a god, and my mind is tiny, and now feels like it's going to explode. Nikos, anything else to add?
No, I think that's mostly it. Him threatening us if we failed to kill Horus.
Did he say kill or defeat?
Pretty sure he said kill, even though
Kill?
he's like an immortal.
Okay,
Maybe specifically kill. Destroy his mortal
destroy.
connection to this world.
He also, so if this being, I want to say Azeroth, but I know that's a wrong word.
Well, it's Asgaroth.
Asgaroth, that was close. Asgaroth said that Horus was a god. So that makes me think that there are levels of god?
I don't think you should think too hard about it.
I know.
That's coming from me.
It's just that whole want to know more. The actual need for answers. You might get this. It's kind of like that scholastic curse of wanting to know more, finding out more, and having more questions.
Many beings of great power have called themselves gods.
But hearing the name of it and witnessing the power are two different things. And we felt it. We felt basically.
I
the
was
heat
talking
that-
about Horus.
Oh, yes. Well, Horus didn't call himself that. The entity we spoke to talked to him about that.
Horus is considered, I believe, a false god or an unearned one. He was told, his father was told not to bestow it upon him, and he did so anyways. That is why Nazgarath was upset.
That's valid. You're making me talk, and I have issues with,
Talking.
no, more of just vocalizing what I mean, and it might just be a language barrier, or it might actually be a, just a communication or just knowledge issue.
So talking.
Well, you don't have to be a dick about it.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just very flustered.
I think we all are. I think we need to take a little bit of a break when we get back to England and feel a little bit better about just being a unit, because at least we've done well with that lately.
Well, we have. We actually worked very well together. Which is why I asked you if there's something you're worried about telling us. I mean, it could stay in confidence. You've been very withholding of any information. Perhaps it's because you just haven't properly parsed it in your own mind yet, or I don't know. I don't want to pry too much, but it's
I don't know. I just found out my dad made a deal with the devil, so
I assume that would be a bit jarring, huh?
yeah, a little bit.
You want some more whiskey?
Sorry.
Yeah, bottoms up.
The way you just said that kind of broke me. I'm sorry. You want some more whiskey?
Yeah,
guys
I'll
were-
finish off my Elijah Craig real quick. I only got like a couple shots of that, so I'll finish that off real quick.
Me and James are gonna have to go AFK in a minute here.
Oh shoot. Okay. About how long?
10 minutes at most.
Okay.
We could do a break at that time
Yeah,
if need
we'll
be.
do a snack break.
Okay, Bright's dying. Okay.
Oh, it's still stuck in my head. I fucking hate it when you play that.
What?
Dear.
Let's all go to the lobby.
Let's all
Let's
go
all
to
go to
the
the lobby.
Nikos,
Let's
let's all
all
go to your mom's house.
to get
Let's all go to your
drink.
mom's house.
My mom has a house.
Yeah,
I have a mom.
Nah, your mom has a whole wait. No.
Hachu, what was your family life like?
So, well, I mean, we were literal dirt poor. We lived off of a bayou, a little
Remind
south
me, what
of
is this
New
bayou?
Orleans. Think a swamp, but with a little bit more like river flowing through it.
It's an outlet of a major river that's had many years to develop due to silt and the erosion from upstream. It's essentially just a land, kind of, sorta.
Okay. Continue. Please.
Well, it's not. Other than that, there wasn't really a whole lot of difference, to be honest. There was like up until Huey Long came around, we just kind of, mostly lived off of the fish and all the, like the crawdads and everything we would come across, and that gators.
And what did Huey Long do? I know he was like your president, right?
He's, hopefully he is in the running for being president of the Confederacy. But he was my state's governor, in which he himself was also dirt poor. He
Was
passed
your
a
whole
bunch
state
of-
just dirt poor?
That's a pretty much.
Is he generally liked by the public? Is he a good?
He is loved by the public.
Okay, so trying to kill him is really bad.
Yes.
Well, that explains why you need that disguise.
He is a bona fide man of the people. He's done everything in his power he can do to just to help everybody.
Well, who would want to kill him?
I would presume his political rivals.
I said those in power, especially on the more richer side.
People like Leroy.
I mean, we can go there and kill
Not to
him.
target him specifically, but like Leroy.
Well, does Leroy have a? Is Leroy an oil magnate by any chance? I don't think he is, but
I know. I think he is shipping and trading and what is it you call it? Triangle trade family.
He's never talked about oil maps. I'm sure he's touched it, but I mean, yeah, I don't think he has any specific industry. I think he's more of a broker, isn't he?
yeah, Mr. Long went especially hard on these oil tycoons that just started taking a bunch of money from the people of the state and not really giving them back.
Well, I would definitely get him like killed or attempted.
That would make some enemies.
I said when we go there, we can kill them indiscriminately.
As much as politics creates bad people, it is generally not good to just kill people indiscriminately. Now, if they shoot first, they have coming.
I mean, that's what I meant. I've never killed someone who hasn't tried to shoot me or you guys first. It's just people shoot at us a lot.
We're in a
It is really
dangerous position.
amazing. I haven't been shot at this much since the war.
No, so this isn't quite a high. We're being shot at more than average, is what you're saying.
Significantly more than average, yes. I was
Oh,
only shot at 5 or 6 times when I was in Alaska.
really? Well, that's good to know. Then, okay.
And only once when I was in San Francisco. And that was just a run-of-the-mill bank robbery.
Oh, you went to San Francisco. Of course, you're gonna get shot at there.
I'm sorry.
Hey, any shot we can take at California is a shot we're gonna take. Right?
This time, California was like all the cowboys that went too far west and hit the ocean, and then like city people in the middle of them who took a boat around. So like,
San Francisco used to be the home of the Marine Corps. It used to be a nice city in the
Yeah,
30s.
San Francisco used to be nice, man.
San Francisco was bougie and fun as hell.
LA was the one where all that shit happened. San
yeah,
Francisco was nice.
Yeah,
and
right,
now
exactly.
it's just
I get them confused.
Then the Marine Corps went to San Diego and San Francisco just nosedived.
I'm pretty sure that's not connected, but I do get what you're saying.
Personally, I think it's connected.
No, I think it started taking a nosedive and then the Marine Corps left.
Yeah.
So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go bum another Lucky Strike off the pilot in exchange for a shot of whiskey.
You know we have cigarettes in our ration packs, right?
Also, Torin,
Sure, it's a good idea to
that
give the
was straight
pilot
Russian.
whiskey.
I was just gonna say that same thing.
Why not?
It might not be the greatest idea to give the people flying the plane whiskey.
I don't know about you. What's it? That thing when you're a little bit drunk, but you're not really drunk yet. Like just right, like your skull.
Yep. See?
Buzz?
Yeah, that's a good word for it. When you get that buzz, it's like you're
I'm gonna try and pluck the glass out of his hand before he goes up to the pilots.
It's like you're almost more sober than like when you're
Sleight of
not.
hand.
If this whole not assassinating Huey Long thing blows over, I will have to take y'all down to
Hey.
New Orleans and Thibodeau for y'all.
Torn, give me a deck save.
Oh my god. He just deftly dodges your hand.
His hand goes
casually
to grab
while
it and
talking and
pluck it with
walking.
3 fingers, and Torin like kind of lowers his hand and like he's on one of those smooth running like camera tripods and just kind of circles and circumvents you and keeps walking past. He's
By the way, Nox,
funnily nimble than usual. Yeah, what's up?
we had a theory, and I wonder if it would work.
Hmm.
Casting Featherfall on someone, and then immediately casting Web in the air.
That was not a theory. That was a dumb idea.
What are they supposed to stick to?
So Featherfall. So the essentially the web, not web on the. So say we were all falling out of a plane,
Right.
casting Featherfall on one person and casting Web on everybody else. So that way, like,
They all stick to them and then
The
they
web-
float down.
yes.
So, I
Would that
feel
technically
like
work? Or
It
would it be like
would.
Spider-Man,
It-
like
it
breaking
would.
Gwen's
You'd
back?
still. So Featherfall, at least in my head and in this universe, it slows you down enough to where instead of hitting the ground at gaining velocity, you hit the ground in the same manner a paratrooper would. It still
Yeah.
hurts, but you're not like nosing.
I feel like that would have the same effect as putting too many people in a hot air balloon. Like,
Well, it's magic. That's the difference.
It's magic, but it still operates in a similar fashion.
As long as we can hit the ground lightly enough for me to be able to cast Prayer of Healing.
You'd be able to. Oh yeah, you'd be able to. Maybe a sprained
Alright.
ankle. Like basically
Oh.
the way that airborne currently lands, it's not comfortable, but you're not.
imagine the
Die.
entire party laying on that ground just going, ah! Ah! Ah!
You just want
ah!
to cast Featherfall.
Like in Family Guy.
Yeah, like everyone is sitting there just going, ah!
Sorry.
My leg! No.
These were the conversations we
More
were having when
importantly-
Hachi was doing his thing.
Okay, more importantly, can we cast Featherfall on one person and then web them to the plane?
That sounds like somebody could get
Yes,
chopped
but
in
you're
half
gonna
by a
be-
fucking blade.
You're gonna be fighting some things, but perhaps that's to figure out later.
Dude, that's like from, like I said, that's like from Spider-Man 2.
Wait,
Like
you
the
cast
fucking
your-
train.
I'm just thinking we don't
Pulling
even
the
we,
train
we
back,
actually
yeah.
we actually don't even have to like get out of the plane to do this, do we though?
So you
Just
guys are
cast and get smacked to the back of the
overcomplicating.
plane.
You're
You cast
overcomplicating
Featherfalls.
Featherfall. Featherfall only helps with things that are not currently being propelled or pushed. If it's in
Well,
free
if we're
fall,
casting
it affects it.
Featherfall, if we're casting Featherfall on the plane, it is no longer being propelled.
Well, no, it's still
you can't- wait,
propelling. It's just
hear me
being
out.
carried better.
You cast
Yes, you're being
Featherfall on
propelled
someone in a
downward.
falling plane,
gravity.
and they just fucking slam into the ceiling.
So,
my
just
God.
looked it up. Featherfall is up to 5 falling creatures.
Yep.
So if you have 5 people spread out in like a star pattern, you cast web, then the plane lands in the web. Then we can all basically just slowly make it
Oh
down.
no, they just all get fucking pinned to the roof of the fucking plane.
Yeah, but they'll be like pinned to the roof of the plane, and then the plane won't
Oh,
be able to
fully.
go down around them, and it'll be basically
You
hanging
know,
from
in the
them, right?
future, if you guys ever get shot down, we could figure that out in the moment. Until then,
If
I
When?
have to give some surprise. It'll happen eventually. I just won't say when.
Only after a series of
you
terribly
won't tell
failed
us when we're
rolls.
crashing. we
I know,
don't
I
get
was
to
gonna-
know.
He's gonna present a situation where we could crash, let us roll badly, and then crash us. That's what he's gonna do.
Just crash into the side of Everest. Oh no.
Sorry.
Party
That's
wipe.
what we were talking about when Hachi was doing his thing.
Yeah. But
The question
all
is,
good.
would casting ball
Resilient
save us from
sphere.
that? Yeah.
It would save you from the impact, but you would die from the impact against the bottom of the ball.
If we cast Featherfall on the
Jesus
Well, then
Christ.
it's just a ball falling through the
Then
air
you're
very
just falling
slowly.
at a very slow wiffle ball.
This is the fucking gun thing all over
It
again.
is. You guys are overthinking this. We'll figure that out in time if or when it happens. Until then, though, you guys having
just
had
wanna
some good
say-
drinks, having relaxed, Torn being very nimble and getting a drink up to the pilot. Contrary to what the others would say, yes, the pilot took it and shot it. You guys end up making the rest of the flight as you get around Spain and make your way up the French coast, arriving back in England with a very nice, happy, gentle landing. It's overall it wasn't a terrible flight, all things considered. At least the flight itself. The other stuff,
Conversation wasn't too bad.
Conversation was okay. In-flight snacks were a little lacking, but you guys will get restocked once you've landed.
We will.
As
Damn
you
it, why didn't we
guys-
use the budget of the friggin' like expensive hotel to restock our snacks?
As you guys come flying back in,
We got this box
you
wine.
come to the little private airfield inside Greenwich. Come down
Not
for a nice,
box wine.
gentle landing. You got a bunch
Alcoholic
of box wine
grape
in the back,
juice at
yeah.
best.
God,
But it's not
yeah, it's
boxed
horrible.
wine, it's in fucking lamb stomachs.
It's
Leroy,
horrible.
Leroy standing on the street corner. Oh, best wine in Egypt! Best wine in Egypt! Come get.
Perhaps that
Essentially
was
is
his
what-
plan.
What church, Episcopalian churches use this for communion.
Yeah, but you
This is
guys are able
Francia.
to disembark the plane and hop off after a couple moments of checks. The engines come to a nice slow sputter down. And you are able to disembark covered in some of your gear and weapons, some of your various gear. The back is already being opened up, and the pilots are helping some of the landing strip personnel that are helping to unload it. They're looking kind of surprised at the crates that Leroy's going to oversee, so you guys don't have to worry about actually unloading the plane. We'll just have Leroy do that since 30% of it is his shit.
Logistics,
I'm gonna-
man!
I'm gonna grab the MG34
Oh.
and I'm gonna bring it to. Actually, I'm just gonna bring it to the briefing
Okay.
because he would be better advised as to where to bring it to. Essentially, reverse engineer something that can be produced en masse for the British.
Sounds
We
good.
have 2 MG34s.
Oh, we have two of them? I thought we
Yeah.
just had one.
Like,
No, because we got the one from Italy. I mean, we don't
Uh-huh.
have it with us, but I'm thinking for our
Oh.
prizes. We have 2
Yeah.
MG34s,
Oh.
an Opel Blitz,
three
an armored
suppressed
car, and a tank.
I thought we had a Bren ZBD and an MG34. If he already has an MG34, then I'm keeping this one inside the plane.
Yeah, he already has an MG34. I mean, he might take it off your hands, and you might be able to cajole him out of character, because Peter would never do this. You might be able to cajole him into giving you something for it, but he doesn't need it.
Yeah, then we'll keep it in the plane. This is our plane anyways.
Okay. Feel free to add that to your in-plane inventory then at all times, along with the ZBD.
Next time you
I think I
come
already
back,
have
there's
it
a hole
in-
cut in the back and it's mounted
God.
there.
Yeah, I already have it in my sheet listing.
Okay. So you guys will leave that there, but you got the rest of your kit and a whatnot attire on as you guys feeling a little dirty, but relatively clean for the most part.
Torrance carrying his bar because he likes it.
You guys make your way on over very spryly and happily to the main entrance of the central building. You hook the left, hook the second right, go into the little briefing room where you have the understanding whenever you guys land, a officer will be showing up to brief you guys. But for the time being, you got a couple minutes while sitting down, getting comfy in this large kind of lecture hall of sorts before somebody will show up.
You know, it's
So,
kinda nice to be back.
What did we decide on telling them when it comes to our shared vision, for lack of a better word?
I would like to leave that out. I just don't see any applicable use for it here.
I understand. I just
I
want
think
to
it might be a
make sure.
good way to convince them to loan us a battleship.
I could use
Especially with the whole
magical
world being
resources
destroyed bit.
Well, we don't
Just scry
necessarily
for
have
him,
to.
possibly.
No, it wasn't
We
the whole
don't
world. It was just
necessarily
us.
have. I was gonna say we don't necessarily have to tell him the whole truth, but just tell him that there is a very strong entity that we probably need higher munitions, or at least a higher stance to engage if he were to show up.
Right, of course. Well, yes, I mean that works. We can leave out the whole, seeing the Esgraff part, and just mention the fact that the horse got away, and that he may be coming back at a time that we don't know, and that he's gonna need a lot of munitions. Yeah.
I agree. I just went
He
completely.
definitely will be coming back.
And we should probably leave out Hachi's whole devil dad thing as well.
That I think might be relevant. We did ask him to look into the whole Hachu impersonation assassination attempt thing.
Yeah, well, that's not my story, so I suppose I don't have much for saying that, but I'm personally against it, but I'm not about to, die on this hill or anything.
As you guys say that, the door opens up, and walking in with a clipboard with about 3 pages on it, he's currently reading over it, walks past you guys. It is not Major General Swinton, but in fact it is the Anzac Australian Brigadier that you had spoken to during one of the previous briefings. Goes walking up there, gets up behind the podium, and kind of sets it down, starts scooting out some of the papers. Alright,
What was his name again?
Brigadier Laverack.
That's the name.
Yeah.
His shoes untied.
Looks down for a moment. Looks back up to you. I'm aware you do this every time, but kneels down real quick, unties it, reties it better, tucks in the laces properly, stands
It's going
back
to
up.
come undone in about 30 minutes. Save to an awkward moment later.
Thank you.
Usually Swinton's shoes are actually untied. It's frankly uncanny.
I don't think
He's not the most uniformed or put together gentleman, I will say, but he does what he needs.
Wait, it was.
Frankly, it's a miracle he doesn't fall all over the place with his shoes like that.
Wait a minute, it was communicated to you that I once told Swinton that his shoe was untied.
Over coffee one day, we were speaking on the subject of Wondrous Company, and one of his notes was the 3 separate incidences where you ridiculed him on his shoe tying ability.
It's been 3. I've done it 3 times. I didn't think. Anyways, continue.
Oh, it was actually more.
Well, I understand.
I also
from
think
this
ridicule is a little
report,
harsh.
I believe you all met up with Hyksos Company and made your way to Cairo. Interesting, fun time. I haven't been there for a few years. And I believe you were to intercept Italian archaeology efforts in the Valley of Kings, or one of the nearby valleys. Esbet Baraya, I believe. Let's see here. Reports are showing that you captured quite a bit of equipment, secured the Ark? Huh. Interesting.
Germans are trying to exasperate.
Speaking of, we need to speak to Lieutenant Gygax again. We had an incident. It's kind of hard to explain.
Which one?
That may be a little hard to
On the
arrange
tank?
at the time being. He's currently in northern Norway, but we can see about that in time.
There's also the matter of my brain dying. Never mind.
Done.
You
Yep,
may be
that's what's gonna happen.
flight lagged, I believe.
I might be a little jet lagged.
What is a jet?
I'm sorry. I might be
Yeah,
a
never heard of
little
that.
plane lagged.
Regardless, the report is showing great favor of the land witches and of the garrison there. You seem to have dispatched all of the suspected abware and secured the Ark. while also aiding other intelligence efforts in the region. You dispatched the entirety of the Italian archaeology group, which we have since then gone over and through to find what information we could. It seems they were very much on a word-of-mouth basis. But I see no report on what you found within the tomb. The Land Witch's report that you went inside and came out looking worse for wear. Would you like to expand on that?
Here we go.
Well, if-
first there were traps, and then there were skeletons.
Triggered by traps.
Giant magnetic scorpions.
Yeah, don't forget about the murder scorpion.
Yeah.
Huh.
Very bulletproof.
I believe
Speaking of,
we
you'll
have a
need to
piece of
drop
that.
off those pieces you guys collected. It is probably not a good idea to be carrying them around.
Oh, it's just
No, probably not.
Then, would you three care to explain what happened, or should I?
I think we can explain it. So at some point we found a dais, and as we stepped upon it, we essentially triggered a trap that brought Horus back to life. We fought him, and at one point after Peter had used
Horus.
a
No, say
Horus
we-
is how you English say, a bitch. And he ran like one. So now we have a big problem.
yes. He
Mhm.
seemed to have left to a different dimension, and there's no telling if he can come back or not.
Yeah, the situation we're facing here is that we've got Horus essentially and theoretically given the power of the gods, much against their assumed delight. And now he's probably very upset, a bit shot in a place that we can't access.
And he
Mark.
might come back
And he may
at
come
any
back,
time.
or he might not, but there's probably a pretty high likelihood that he.
So, you are saying the tomb was in fact the tomb for one of the sons of Ramses, known as the Hand of Horus,
The
who you are saying was actually blessed by Horus.
Yes.
And
Yes.
upon confronting him, he fled.
Yes.
Yes.
Very well.
Yeah. That is the correct answer.
If you had to give a status or a importance level to it, how would you convey that for this report?
The whole of the British military should probably be on high alert.
Probably not high alert, but perhaps whoever is in charge of coming up with contingency plans should plan to be able to muster large amounts of artillery in various locations possibly related to Egypt.
Just a nice little memo to send out. Hey, if you see some, 10-foot tall guy who looks like some creepy Egyptian god, maybe give him a double dose of 80mm or something like that.
Duly noted. I will translate that to pressing then.
The good news is that the Germans, and the Italians don't have
Control of him.
Well,
That
is
would
good.
probably be significantly worse.
or acquaintanceship of any way. We kind of cut them off before that could happen. So now he's not friends
Rogue.
with anyone. But
Well,
I would say that
That
we
is
cut
very
them
good.
down more than cut them off.
apparently, whatever you managed to do, I do have some reports here, in addition to some other reports to deliver to you, according to Swinton, upon your arrival, if you would care to hear them.
I would.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as far as your mission to Cairo, it seems your, and I read here, shock and awe tactic seems to have worked in posturing. It would seem a flotilla of Italian ships just outside Cyprus who have been pressing their borders for the last few weeks have entirely hightailed and returned themselves back to Sicily. We don't know if this is perhaps in response to what occurred in Cairo or something else, but the timing seems a little too close to be circumstance.
What is?
Should we also tell him about what happened while we were in Greece? Or is that too personal for you, Nikos?
No,
I understand
might be a good
you
idea.
had a personal time in Greece, and I do also have a report here to deliver on that.
There's
Oh.
a report.
That's a little bit, how you say, unquieting.
Yeah.
Well, they approached us.
Oh, I think I know what this is about.
I believe it is your mother, Mr. Zagros, who seems to have mustered the support of the various higher-ranking members of their current government and parliament and very many county-level officials and influential persons, both private and in the military sector, who have sent to us a proposal on behalf of the Zagros family that OSS shall be allowed operations within Greece. In addition to, we seem to have help from, let me look here, this is I believe she is Madame Thrasun, if I pronounced that correctly. The Thracian queen has requested Her Majesty's army be allowed access by the Greek government to aid Greece in defensive posturing, and she is going to be pioneering and leading that, we believe, because of a personal connection with Wondrous Company?
I had no idea she was a queen.
I'm sorry?
Oh, it's yeah, it's a personal connection. Yeah, it's...
Hachi is a very good diplomat. He's away with words.
Very good.
Very good at being a, how you say, liaison.
Oh, well, glad to hear, because it has opened up quite a few potential avenues, including political and military, and with the aid of the Zagros family and many other dignitaries and officials, Greece will find itself much closer with our efforts in the region, which will benefit all, hopefully. Especially with National Socialist endeavors and parties currently rising, we've been trying to keep an eye on them, and the cooperation of the various Greek parties will allow us to better do so.
I have a slight question. Has there been a formal declaration between the Italians and the Germans for cooperation between each other?
We have been gathering some information that it seems a official from Italy, a very high-ranking one, did make their way with some other important persons. We have also identified Mr. Antonucci, I believe you know him as Craven, was amongst that meeting. That we suspect, as you say, we hope not an alliance, but we understand greater cooperation between Germany and Italy is to soon be unfolding.
Well, it kind of feels like an alliance, because those Italians we killed, they had German tanks and German guns and German backing and German funding.
That's especially, it is adding to the worry, as well as potential talks to absorb other German states into a greater Germany. We are trying to keep our head and eyes on it as much as possible.
What are the exact other states that you think that Germany would try to occupy?
Well, we do believe Czechoslovakia and Austria are currently in talks or entertaining the ideas of talks of joining the greater German state, but we're entirely unsure as of yet.
Man, this is getting out of hand. That Hitler guy seemed so cool at first. What happened?
I thought that the Treaty of Paris? No,
Versailles.
Versailles. The Treaty of Versailles basically blocks Germany from gaining more territory.
We've
My
also blocked Germany from.
political understanding is a bit vague, but it doesn't necessarily relinquish others to willingly join. But
Besides-
I will leave that to the politicians.
Besides, it blocked Germany from building a navy too, and now they have those pocket battleships.
Those two have been on our radar for a while.
Well, can't we do something about that? Seeing as, I mean, obviously.
We
is
are only
my-
the OSS. That is a higher military matter. We are more so in the intelligence game, not the action game, despite
That's
what Wondrous Company has done recently.
I don't know. We're
That's
seeing a
what-
lot of action.
that
we
makes more sense.
we are definitely seeing action.
We've got a double-digit body count anywhere we go with Italians.
I think we have a double-digit body count anywhere we go.
Yeah, we do. That's kind of
And
concerning.
where we've gone, there's mostly been Italians.
Regardless, while
It is
not
also
as
true.
tactful, you have had a rather good success rate, which you may be surprised to find. First and Third Company, both of your sister companies, are currently being restructured to form 2 additional units, much like yourself, to aid in efforts abroad. However, finding adequate persons is a little bit more selective without giving offense to yourselves.
Is this you setting up a back door for additional campaigns? is this the soft pilot?
No. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
Our success
well-
rate is due to our differences. You take away that magic and you take away the efficiency of the group you're hiring. Just because they can listen and do what you're trying to say doesn't mean they have any competency or any
We're
diverse
not
set of skills.
looking for listening or soldiers. We are looking for persons like yourselves. Just First and Third Company may be a little bit more information and persuasion than brute force and brawn, as you have shown.
Everyone just shoots at us first because we have a choice.
Hence why you've been so successful, to our admitted surprise.
I was saying it's not gonna work.
Well,
I
let the
do
other
have a-
companies decide that. For now, I
do
have to
have-
deal with you. Yes?
I was just gonna say, I have an outside question. Where or would it be possible to venture out of Greenwich to possibly Oxford, so that I can leave a message for somebody when they come back?
Of course, what you choose to do is up to you. While you were gone, I do have some other notes here. We are doubling our intelligence efforts around our various posts and research stations like this. And since you have left, we have found no traces of any spies or subterfuge or the aforementioned Pink Gang.
Kind of turns out that they weren't here to really cause any harm, so.
It would
Yes,
seem so.
going back to the Pink Gang, we found out who most likely hired them.
Oh, do tell.
Roxana, who you might have heard if you're inclined to history, the wife of Alexander the Great.
I'm sorry.
The wife of Alexander the Great is still currently alive and also being manipulated and used by Typhon.
Manipulated might be a stretch.
He
Maybe
blinks.
she's just doing it.
Yes.
He blinks twice at that. Ah,
You know,
Who seems to be particularly after me.
the Pink Gang are for
Just
hire.
Patoma.
I don't know
and
why you are
Plot.
so surprised. We were talking about fighting someone who essentially is godlike in power, and you're surprised at
The-
someone.
I am
living
still
along?
slowly finding. Every day I am being more impressed and surprised with some of the latent magical things that exist, and since the OSS has been formed, it's been rather eye-opening to realize Greek gods, especially Typhon, is in fact present and not just existing is a bit surprising. But
Well,
that said, we will consult with you on a report and see what we can find. Yes.
What? Sorry, what?
You said so. You were questioning me?
No, it's just I was thinking aloud. Is all.
Right.
Have we heard anything in relation to Hachu's faked assassination attempt?
Yes, we have actually. In fact, and he flips through some of the paper.
It's down.
Mr. General Wild Bill Donovan. He still requests we refer to him as Wild Bill. I may not do that, but
I think it's cool.
he has reached out on behalf of Wondrous Company, in fact, as you see, he would like Wondrous Company to be able to access North America without as much of the worry. So he took it upon himself to consult with Mr. Long, and in addition to actually gaining some ground and possible cooperation within the Confederated States, although those talks may still be up for debate at a later time, we will leave that again to the politicians and the Americans. But we have cleared your name for now, Hachu. Unfortunately, there is still worry as to who exactly mirrored your likeness to attempt on his life.
Hey, down. Down.
Why'd you have to tell him that? I was enjoying being taller than him.
Oh, sorry, I
The-
thought I was muted.
The disguise is still available, and in fact, I have been told they would request more attempts to continue said tests, but the need to hide yourself, at least within the Americas, is no longer needed, but you can understand where there may still be some parties who still suspect you as being the specific attemptee. However, as far as Mr. Long and his cabinet is concerned, you are currently free of investigation.
DM,
Yes.
just curious. Would any of us know about changelings?
I don't believe any of you would know. Maybe Torn may have read on it a little bit, but that's
Okay,
about it.
then not worry about it. Scratch that from my brain.
Yeah, that's later. In addition to this does bring me to another note, but I will bring that up at another point in time when I get to that. For now, let's see here. Your efforts in Antarctica did not go without additional reward. There's a mountain range where many of the pictures you recovered showed evidence of a structure possibly built into a mountainside, or at least our geologists suspect it may be the remnants of a structure, although they didn't elaborate any more as to its composition. But a expedition team led by OSS Combat Team 3, whose name is still being debated upon, accompanied by a couple geologists and a botanist, are going to investigate the structure in the mountain range, as well as gain more direct collections on what you called the Snow Devils in your reports. It should be about a 2-week expedition. They're going to be led by Professor William Dyer from Mistataconic University of Arcane Studies in Boston. I believe you may be familiar with that one. He's going to be leading this expedition to the Zinsmeister Ridge in the Ellsworth Mountains, Antarctica, just, I believe, 20 miles south of where you found the Schwabenland, where they hope to discover what these alleged structures are.
Before we get to that second part with the name, did you send a botanist to Antarctica? Is that some sort of joke? What did they do to you?
No, a botanist and 2 American geologists with one of our combat teams, led by another geologist, Mr. Dyer, are
Why did
going to Antarctica. Why?
you sent a botanist to Antarctica?
They have reason to believe there is more under the ice, as well as... I don't quite question it, but I understand they're
Follow
needing a
Earth.
botanist.
Follow Earth.
I
Follow Earth.
think they just pissed someone off. Or I think that's some sort of cruel joke.
He gives the most genuine shrug because he doesn't know how
Maybe-
these things work.
Maybe the snow devils are mushrooms.
Peter,
Those
they're
take
not.
botanist, right?
Well,
Peter,
perhaps
Peter,
the
this-
botanist knows some biology or animal habits. Perhaps they need him to study that.
sorry,
This line requires direct and intense eye contact. Just
Peter, the snow devils are not mushrooms.
Whatever they are, the
I'm gonna
side
shrug my shoulders
objective-
and go, who knows? Maybe the botanist knows.
Whatever they are, the expedition team will be investigating to find out, but the Snow Devils are a side objective to their primary, which is investigating said structure in the Ellsworth Mountains.
We'll take them to the planet core. Sorry.
Are you okay?
I'm sorry.
That said, however, we do have some additional information I am told to pass to you. To the griffin that was to be aided, that did escape, it has since then, unfortunately, attacked 3 separate groups of people and resulted in 2 deaths. However, we have not been able to track it down. We believe it is currently in the subways of South London.
That's. Oh.
There is a request that Wondrous Company, having a finger pointed at you, perhaps find the time to aid in searching for said griffin in
You're the
time.
ones who lost it.
Quite.
You're the ones
Why
who
would a
lost it.
griffin stay in the subway?
Surely you would think it
Perhaps
would be
to
somewhere
nest.
open air.
I am not versed in how griffins operate, but it is being a menace and it has already resulted in some attacks, which no longer means we can be negligent about it for too long. We will attempt to continue our searches, but local authorities are requesting the aid of Wondrous Company if or when available, or should you choose to. In
How
addition to
narrowed
that,
down?
Oh.
How narrowed down do they have the area?
not very.
That's a griffin in a subway. How hard is it to find?
We have quite a few tunnels in those subways. We also have a understanding in the city of
subways-
South Exeter. We may need additional assistance in thwarting the weapons shipments going to and fro, we believe at the behest of the IRA. But that is something I believe is left more to, if not Wondrous Company, your shipping and receiving specialist, but that is a second topic that you may wish to help us with in time. Outside of that, the main information here, we have found information, and this may find very welcome ears in this room. Craven Antonucci is currently being investigated, at least to our best efforts. It would seem he is keeping quite a financial presence in Switzerland. And with some of their laws and rulings, we're finding it rather hard to continue investigation, but we have been able to narrow it down. He is likely the primary curator and collector of coin and minting from the Kalmar Union. In addition to using said coin to fund many under-the-table efforts, including the practices of a John Sculm. You had a, we'll say, encounter with the Order of the Golden Dawn, I do believe, when you were in Norway. It would seem Craven is funding the Astral Travel Occult and Cabal across their efforts in Norway, including Mr. John Skolm, who is currently leading the Cult of the Bear. Or at least, that is the name that we have been able to gather.
You do realize how, potentially dangerous those people are, right?
Quite so, which is why Combat Team 1, along with your officer when you were in Norway, have been leading efforts in northern Norway to try to track this down. The last report we were given is that, like before, there is strange occurrences in a mountain range and a few nearby towns. But information's rather slow from that region. We've debated sending more assets to help, or, if Wondrous Company should choose to, that mission is, of course, on your metaphorical board.
Why don't you start by bombing his location of his men?
I believe that would
we
cause an
are-
international incident.
That would, as well as our attempts to investigate into that, would cause some relations with Switzerland and Finland to perhaps get a bit worse.
I'm just saying, you find an independent party and you hire them and you make them go blow up his shit.
True, but
We go everywhere
as
and
you've
blow
seen,
things up.
they are of a more magical nature, and we attempt to not send less than magical forces to combat these. For example, a small footnote, I believe off the top of my head, the summoning that you thwarted when you were in Norway seems to have been, according to some of our researchers, an attempt to summon the children of Fenrir, specifically Hate and Skull. They believe, based upon old writings and works, that the arrival of them will bring the... and I think they referred to this as the gateway, the essentially opening a connection with the creator to bring the destruction of our existence, as they are not able to enter our reality, at least to my understanding.
Hey, we don't need another psycho god on Earth.
Why are they all coming here now?
Cataclysm.
Does this? I just was about to say, does this have something to do with the cataclysm that happened? But Torn, you beat me to it.
I have only minorly spoken on it, but to my understanding, efforts back in the 1860s, shortly after the cataclysm, if Wild Bill is truly informed, I believe he called them the Veils between realms, were re-established, but
This world is a gateway now.
them having come down means they are still accessible to those who wish to cross over.
A botched religious ceremony from freaking 60 years ago have crashed whatever this is that we have and everything else, and now we're the only thing connecting them all together. It seems that way.
Which is why we are seeing a literal explosion in magical occurrences and isolated events abroad. That said, let's see, we also have other information here, I believe. Yes, so Craven has been confirmed to be the main funding source of the Order of the Golden Dawn and their efforts. Whether that is connected to others, we're not sure, but considering Italy has also been seen trying to delve into previous magics, we can't rule out that they aren't trying to grab multiple things at a time to see which may aid them better.
That one doesn't even make sense. He knows what they're gonna try to do if he's funding them. And that doesn't make sense even for him. Is he just an idiot?
I believe you overlook the short-sightedness of hermetic cabals and golden orders. let alone the Cult of the Bear, which is, to my understanding, originates from some witches who wish to return to a more primal status. But
I understand their short-sightedness. I don't understand cravens.
nor do we. Aside from
Why don't
that,
you write him a letter?
Just,
Fill it with dripping sarcasm.
dear Craven, what the fuck? Question mark.
he's very selective as to who he meets with and who he keeps in his company, it would seem.
And we have run into him enough times now that I would assume we are at least somewhere on that list.
Quite so. Finally, a item has come across our desk. We recovered a small shipment of magical devices from a sunken ship north of, you would find this surprising, Mr. Schwartz, what used to be Prussia and is currently Germany. Well, diving down there, these devices were recovered and have been investigated. We found one is still of working order, while we are keeping the other 5 to continue dissecting and perhaps counter-manufacturing them. We understand you to be of a artillery and Prussian arcane nature, correct?
Yeah, that's it is correct.
Then this may be right up your alley. A ballistic targeting device, it would seem, for Prussian artillery.
And it was magical of nature.
It is quite magical, but it seems to be of a military sort of arcana that we aren't quite able to dissect. We're hoping perhaps while you are on your time here before going to your next mission, you may wish to investigate it.
Is the item of question in the research and
Yes.
development?
In fact, we actually currently have it on the range. It will be there for the while as we're attempting to figure out just how it works.
Yeah, that sounds very good.
Excellent.
While I'm here, I definitely will look into it.
That's very good. Other than that, no additional information or items have come in. Your shipments that you did have express mailed to us have arrived and have been dropped off in your various rooms, including the couple hats.
You opened it.
Well, I didn't open it, but they did have to be opened to ensure the safety of them. But they have been resealed and properly secured.
Thorn, you knew that they were going to probably open your packages, seeing as this is, in fact, in roundabout way, a military installation.
They do open all of our packages.
They've been reading my mail back to Boston. Oh, okay. Okay, that's okay.
Do not worry. If it seems of a especially private nature, it will not be meddled into.
Okay.
However, I believe the only other 2 dockets of information I have here are, thanks to, again, Mr. Wild Bill, 2 additional situations have surfaced in North America. In Boston, Massachusetts, the defector colony, the Boston Police Special Inspector Connor O'Brien Walsh, quite Irish, isn't he? Having been recently promoted to Chief Inspector of the Magical and Arcane Investigative Unit, Wild Bill aptly naming Maine for the time being, has found himself with the occurrence outside of his or his department's realm of capacity.
I know my English is not the best, but that doesn't add up. Where's the E come in?
I don't question acronyms at this point. Seemingly random persons have been found in home and outside workplaces in the southern slums of Boston and near the old docks in absolute tattered and mutilated conditions, while seeming to have been partially consumed by something akin to a lion. Previous investigations and scenes up to this point has finally warranted a request from Inspector O'Brien Walsh for direct assistance from the OSS through his brother who currently works within US OSS operations in Southwest America. The reports warrant a capable and fluid response be capable of all threats during the aided investigation, and as such, Wondrous Company, yourselves, is suggested to be the front new investigative team. There's a short list of persons of interest in relations to those who have been attacked, but no further leads at the time. Wondrous Company is to be granted a restricted check and moderate time in aiding Boston PD in Maine, and will aid for the time being, falling under the jurisdiction of the Boston Police Department until investigation is deemed finished. In addition to that, I have simply been told it is labeled Town Green. I'm not exactly sure why. It seems scattered reports and rumors have surfaced to reach the ears of a detachment currently deployed to scouting out the Amazon and mapping it of Old Portuguese Brazil. Particularly seems to be the regions that your shipping master, Mr. Copeland, was involved with. A small village is reported to have gone dormant. All persons within the town, approximately 600 at least reported, have gone without so much of a trace, disappearing entirely. The town, or at least those around the location of the town, know it as Hoerville. Or is that Verde? Hoerverde. Allegedly a prostitution village for Portuguese and Dutch traders in the region. Without any additional units in the region, and a request for magical abilities, especially with recent endeavors, Wondrous Company is being suggested to take the task of investigating this disappeared township.
I think it's actually pronounced Orverd, because Cape Verde is...
Orverd. That would make sense. In addition to that, we did also receive one other, although this one is a bit more obscure, as it did come from the traveling musician group that visited. In the Caucasus Mountains, specifically the... oh lord, how do I say this? The Transcaucasian Socialist Federative Soviet Republic of the USSR. I'm just going to call that the Caucasus in Georgia. It would seem the...
I would prefer you do.
Of course. It would seem the rumored Greek Amazonians have been spotted within that mountain range, specifically outside a Mount Ushba, I believe. And it is requested that any OSS operatives with a tie to Greek mythos or knowledge of be the ones to perhaps consult and gain perhaps partnership. Wondrous
Immediately,
Company...
Wilhelm looks at Nikos. Like, we all just kind of like look
Like,
back at him.
hand towards him.
Everyone rubbernecks at Nikos.
It is believed as Wondrous Company is to take this, the command jurisdiction of diplomatic agreements, and a complete, once again, blank check is to be granted so that political endeavors may go smoothly. However, this one does seem to have a time limit on it, as to our understanding, the Soviets are clamping down on who is to be managing said region. By that I mean it is no longer going to be its own independent region, but local reports inform us it is going to be falling under the grander part of the USSR.
What are our missions that we still need to complete within a timely manner? Are there any other timelined missions?
With timed missions, I would say sooner than later, investigating the shore raids on roads, obviously consulting the Amazonians, as we do not know how long until the USSR fully closes off said region and we can no longer get assets into there. We would like to give pressing matter to investigating the requests of Mr. Donovan on the Boston killer, as well as the Everglades in Florida. The portals and Vels there seem to be increasing in intensity. I do believe an investigation into the rumored ghost stone shipment to Russia from the Coyote Confederation may wish to be sped up.
Oh, is that all?
I do also believe let's see here,
What are the top 3 most important ones?
oh shoot, if I had to list it to the top 3, I believe the top 3 don't have a pressing time matter to them, but consulting with the Heavenly Kingdom, as the Chinese Republic is currently losing ground to the Communist Party there.
I think we're asking for the top 3 with the time constraints.
The top 3 with time constraints, I would say consulting with the Amazonians, aiding the orders in Rhodes and investigating that, and I would perhaps say either the Ghost Stone shipments or the Vels in the Everglades of Florida would probably be pressing.
Okay, so I'm gonna put little clocks next to our missions that have time constraints. So that would be Rhodes. You said Rhodes. You said
Amazonia.
Everglades. Yeah, I already got one on Amazonians. Everglades. And then, did you say the Heaven Kingdom?
The Heavenly Kingdom is kind of pressing, considering we don't know how fast Japanese are going to be going.
Gotcha.
And the Ghost Stone shipments.
The Marco
out of
Polo
the
bridge
Coyote
hasn't happened yet.
Confederation.
Okay. So
happens in
we'll
3
take it
months.
off of we'll take it off of the Heaven's Kingdom for now. And you said the what was the last one?
Ghost Stone.
Ghost Stone shipments.
Ghost Stone shipments. Where is that one?
Coyote Confederation. That is.
Oh, Coyote Confederation. Yep, there it is.
Yep.
Ghost in the Stone, parts 1 and 2. Cool. Boom.
Yep.
Alright, I got clocks on all of those. And
Of
then
course.
I put a check mark on the Tomb of Horus if you want to remove your warning symbol.
Yep. Of course, all of these are going to be important in their own ways, and each, while having a sort of pressing matter, of course should not fully dictate which you go to, but these ones would have a more soon importance to them, I would believe.
I would like to say that we have a pretty easy order for at least 2 of them set out before us. We hit Rhodes, then Georgia. Then perhaps we can go to America.
But Georgia
But-
is in America.
Yeah, we can visit both Georgias in one trip. I've always wanted to visit the American one. I hear it doesn't have any mountains.
It's flat. And wet. And hot.
Stay out of Atlanta.
Does it
Visible
have
city.
those bayous you were talking about, Hachu?
No, it does not. As the people who call themselves part of the South, but they ain't part of the South.
There are like
They ain't
Northerners who fell out of the top state.
Yes.
Gives a little bit of a nod, taps some of the papers to kind of collapse them a bit, and walks over to the board and turns it over that has some of the pins in it, adds some of the new pins. Well, to decide, obviously with our logistics, when you will be departing, and how long you will have to take off and do your own endeavors around Greenwich and abroad, I do believe, if Swinton informed me correctly, you choose where you will be going next. Is there any questions you would like to ask on any of the current rostered missions? And which will you be embarking on?
I think we should go to Cyprus and then Georgia next.
Which Georgia?
I'm assuming the one with all them mountains and them socialist communist people.
The one in the Caucasus.
Yeah, that word.
Too.
That is in a line.
However, isn't roads under Italian control right now? Wouldn't that pose problematic?
Well, that didn't exactly stop us the last time.
I'm not afraid of Italians.
I have to agree with that statement.
Fair enough.
It would be, I guess, more of your call on that, Nikos. It was the one that was put at the top list for time priority, however.
No, I think we should do it.
I am in agreement.
The reason this one does have a time limit to it as far as the Amazonians is our reports inform us that the USSR is closing its grasp, and we aren't sure, but we have reason to believe it will make it harder to insert agents and spies into that area or get information out. But it seems as though you are in relative unanimous decision. I don't suppose what is your process of encountering these?
I might have missed a little bit. Can we just give me a quick recap?
We're gonna go to Rhodes, and then we're gonna go to the Caucasus.
Actually, so that was exactly where my mind was going at that moment. So when we were talking about time-constrained missions.
But I ask
So-
which one you're going to go to first.
I would say maybe we visit the Rhodes
Prob-
one first.
Probably it's closer.
It is closer.
So I am marking the number right now.
Can you guys see the world map? Because I can't see the world map.
No.
Oh, isn't that
No.
showing up? Oh,
No,
no.
we
I
are
thought
not
I dragged
not
it.
open.
My bad. There you go.
You're good.
There we go.
My bad.
If you
I was
guys
starting, the
look-
way some people were talking, I was starting to think everyone else could see it, not me.
No, you're good. If you look on the mission board, I put numbers next to the ones. So right now we have Rhodes as 1, Amazon delivery as 2, and then do we want to go to America and do Everglades and then Ghost in the Stone?
That works for me. What do you think, Hachu? You're the one
Probably.
being put at risk.
It is quite a few missions in a row, but
I-
if you feel capable
there
of
is-
tackling these back to back, then
There is also the matter of not necessarily doing all 4 of them at once. Maybe the first 2 come back to Britain for a debrief, and
We'll probably
then
need more
moving on
fuel
to
at
America.
the very least before we fly over the Atlantic, I imagine, right? I'm not sure the fuel capacity on the plane.
It'll make it.
And also, if we have to venture to the Americas, I'm going French. Sorry. If we have to venture to the Americas, it might be better to, if we have to refuel, stop here anyway for debrief and just make it a very short debrief.
we would request a quick debrief upon completion of these before you cross the Atlantic, but very well. If you are going to be flying to Rhodes, I will forward that to them, and they will be able to arrange your route and the needed logistics before you move to investigate the Amazonians. Very well. That's
We also can possibly knock out, I believe is the American term, some more of our missions in the US when we are there.
They do seem to be of a smaller caliber than some of the missions abroad. But if you feel capable and able to do so, then simply keep leadership informed and we will work with you as need be. Mr. Swinton has informed me that you have relatively free reign as to where you go. Very well. He's writing through his notes a little bit. We will arrange with you going to Rhodes and then to proceed to the Caucasus to conduct those missions before a debrief and then embarking to aid U.S. OSS operations.
Just another question.
Mhm.
Those green indicators on the map, are those like friendly forces or?
Out of character,
No.
those are side objectives and story notes.
Oh, okay.
Blue ones are the friendly forces.
Yeah, I
blue
knew
ones
the
are friendly
blue one-
forces of
Yeah.
a specific note. Red are mission locations, and green are basically notes for personal endeavors or story beats and their locations.
Gotcha. Okay. I knew the blue were like essentially allied like outposts we could visit while we were like on our way to these missions or something like that.
Yep.
I didn't know what the green one was, so
The
that makes
various
sense.
groups you can go to get different assistance.
And obviously, okay, so that green one is my Prussian, the Prussian artillery stuff. Cool. What's that Greek one?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, technically, it could be a couple things, but
Oh yeah, it could be your.
Hachu got the Snake Queen preggers.
yeah, I got my Greek queen baby mamas down there. So
Yeah.
Your
So-
dynasty.
Who's in the Great Britain? I figure there's that. Bazaar is probably Leroy. The Gulf of Mexico, I'm assuming is Hachu. Boston is obviously Torin. Peter might be Japan. Something else.
And there's one in Russia.
And run in Russia. Okay, so that's both of you. What's the one in the UK?
That would be the
the
IRA
IRA.
arms shipments.
Oh,
And I don't think we
South
can
Exeter.
see it. Yeah. Speaking of, does anyone want to go griffin hunting tonight or tomorrow night?
I suppose I could be interested in that.
that's my.
that went
be something we
really
should
good
take
for me
care
the
of.
last time.
That might be helpful.
I
And
do believe you will have about 3 days plus the rest of today to rest before we will see you heading off towards Rhodes. So do with that time as you wish.
I'm still a bit primed from what we just got back from. I wouldn't mind, getting that out of the way now and then trying to relax tomorrow night.
Very well. That can be arranged. I would request a quick stop in at the artillery range by yourself, Mr. Wilhelm, and perhaps the party to acquire your device. But then, please, by all means, you may, if you can assist us in tracking down that griffin, it would very much get the royalty off our backs.
I'm gonna need all the
There-
information you have on its movements.
where exactly is our range?
It is currently underground at the moment.
Oh,
Uh,
your artillery range is underground.
They recently built a tunnel, yes.
Why would you put an artillery range underground?
I can
How-
only assume
tall is this
firing
ceiling?
artillery shells over London is not advisable.
I would have
Yeah.
expected firing artillery shells underground is also not advisable.
I don't
Maybe it's in
believe
a
they're going
big
for
cave.
range testing. I do believe it is simply ballistics. Regardless,
these-
if you can stop by there and then I do believe if you report into the shipping and receiving area, along with your Mr. Copeland, you will be able to get the information you need from our personnel that know of the aforementioned Griffin.
Great.
The question is, are we going to go after the Griffin tonight, or do we want to take a night of respite before doing this?
I want to go tonight.
Okay,
I'm up for going tonight.
tomorrow shall be my day of respite. Okay.
Would you rather
Let's
break
go
up your
hunting.
rest with griffin hunting, or would you rather have 2 nice days of not, being in perilous danger for a moment?
I don't know about you, Wilhelm, but back when I was a child, we went hunting for dangerous predators for sport.
Usually the dangerous
They're not the
predators.
same in Prussia.
Usually the dangerous predators I hunt happen to be, in the past, British.
No, but you did not go on like wolf hunts or bear hunts or any such things. Go hunting for elk?
9.
Not elk. Elk isn't in Russia,
Nah,
is it?
it would just be deer. 9. We generally raised pigs and things of that nature. I grew up in farmland, so it was more of a rural type of life. I mean, every so often I was taught how to shoot to ward off wolves and stuff, but I never went to actually hunt them. It was more of protection rather than a attack type of thing.
Is this griffin wanted alive?
At this time, it is requested that we bring it back alive, if possible.
Do we happen to have large nets or heavier duty? I guess reins would be a good.
I do
Can
believe
you muzzle a
through
griffin?
your Mr. Copeland, you'll be able to acquire all of your needed griffin hunting attire.
Okay then. How about we take a couple minutes to, like an hour or so to kind of get ourselves in order and meet up in the dining facility?
Sounds good to me.
Is there anything else you need from us, Major?
There is nothing further from my end. If you are content and happy, then we are good to go. I would not mind going to get lunch.
It seems like we have a decent plan moving forward, so at least we can enact that plan as best we can. So we have 2 or 3 things here, and then heading off to the roads and the caucus.
Very well. You are dismissed. I will start putting in this information immediately, and we will see to having you fly out in 3 days' time after today. And he
Wunderbar.
kind of folds up the paperwork, goes over to the board, kind of sets it to the side, and starts making
Liechtenstein?
his way out. It is. No, that's not
The Vo-
Liechtenstein. That's fucking
Luxembourg.
Luxembourg. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Luxembourg.
Liechtenstein is like down over here, isn't it?
It's next to Switzerland.
It's,
Oh, okay.
it's
Like
oh,
right
fuck
there.
that thing. It's
Luxembourg
right there.
is
Yeah,
right
it's like
here.
it's in here.
It's like that little-
Liechtenstein is right here. If you zoom in, you can actually see it. It is that dot right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That I think is slightly discolored from everything else.
That speck.
Liechtenstein. My name is Sir Ulrich von Liechtenstein.
How did you know the name of my alt character?
As he
Well,
walks
like
his
a
way
movie
out and
sometimes.
heads out, it leaves you guys available to kind of decide where you want to go. You pretty much got an hour to head back to your rooms or do what you want. Go hit up the arty range perhaps, or just get some rest before all of you will convene for dinner.
I'm gonna drop the murdered scorpion pieces off at the magic lab.
Very good.
I'm
Let me
going
take
to
note of
R&D right
that.
now. I'm going to R&D right now, so I'll accompany you. I just wanted to talk to them about their discovery before I went down to the range.
Okay.
And the range is probably going to be tomorrow, to be honest.
Yeah, we can get that today. It's relatively short.
Oh, okay.
So
I was...
you two are going to R&D, then you're going to go to the range?
Yes.
Hachu,
Sure.
where be you going? What are you up to? Hachu.
Hachu's taking a poop. Snake poop.
Hey, I'm here.
A snoop.
I think I'm gonna go ask Picatrix some questions.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to go hit up Picatrix. Torin, where are you going to be going? What are you going to be up to for the next hour?
Oh boy. Okay. Having heard of the Nikos fan club, Torin is going to seek these individuals out to give them those really well hand-drawn sketches that he took of Nikos in combat with that one guy.
Oh. Okay. Duly noted.
The one that I
Peter.
rolled an at 20 on.
Yeah.
And then, like, the one that was like a 16.
I
and
forgot
then
you fucking did that. Oh
and
my
then-
god.
The really shitty one is like an 8.
Holy shit. Peter, what are
Wait.
you going to be up to?
For the moment, I think I'm gonna be relaxing, since we're only waiting a few hours before going hunting.
Alright.
Is perfectly shaded and drawn and proportioned picture of Nikos like dug in.
I might go with-
out, muscles flexing, sweat on his brow.
I might go with Torin to go deliver those to the Nikos fan club because I do quite enjoy their existence.
Gotcha. Alright.
They are
No, actually,
great, aren't they?
The way that's gonna work is Torin is going to ask you how to find them because he wasn't there for the first encounter. He just heard of it.
Oh god.
Off we go to intelligence. While we're
Yeah.
there, we can also ask them about Cyprus.
That's a good call. Look at these drawings. Isn't this one great?
Hey, you did a actually amazing job. You have real talent.
Oh, thank you. I used to do a lot of transposition for drawings and sketches and detailed, this book stuff.
How does he draw with claws?
The same way you do with fingers.
Only
I
got
guess
three
it
of
would
them. You
balance
only
out,
need
right?
3 fingers to grab a pencil.
He's got
You
thumbs.
see what I did here with the charcoal shading to specifically draw attention to his delts?
Alrighty, as you guys head on out, you kind of break into your 3 groups.
I
will-
really have to know, why did you put so much detail into only his right nipple?
Wait, no, I did not. I absolutely did not. What are you looking at? No, what? No, what
I
am
mean,
saying?
I had a shirt on for that fight. I didn't have my armor, but I was still like clothed.
He's like licking a knuckle, like rubbing at a spot. Like,
Oh, it's so nice. Touch this up. a bit.
The hot tub did something to him.
Apparently.
it's just a cold bath between 2 jacked guys.
Did you have an awakening in that bathtub?
Wait, what?
Alrighty, so as you guys split your 3 different directions, we're going to do a small moment first with Torin and Peter. I'm assuming you guys are going to be passing by your rooms first, before heading over to the fan club, correct?
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming, Torin, you want to make sure that all your hats and stuff have been
Oh, yeah.
uploaded, and
Yeah, the hats are
Peter...
getting checked and going on the shelves.
Alright. Yeah, as you guys go walking down the hallways, obviously towards the barracks section, making your way up the staircases, going down your main hall, not too much seems to have changed. Torn, in front of your door, you can see 3 stacked up paper and twine wrapped boxes, nicely, almost kind of snowman style, in front of your door there. And Peter, you see a letter in the sort of a little makeshift holder attached to your door that everybody has now.
What's that, Peter? I need to go into my room and open my window. It's probably kind of musty in there. You should do the same.
I'm gonna stoically open my door and stare at the non-existent window for a minute before reading the letter.
A single tear.
Oh, God. Yeah, you'll grab the letter. It's got a nice little wrap on it. It's obviously been opened, but has since then been resealed, and it has a nice OSS like intelligence approval stamp on the back of it as you grab it.
Approved. Your access to this letter has been approved.
Pretty much. Torn, as you go over to your door, you're able to open it. You got those little boxes sitting there next to you that you're going to be able to haul your way in and start unpacking. You can tell that the twine on them has been unwrapped and then rewrapped since then. Not as well as it was, but after a couple minutes of unwrapping them, all your hats can be re-added to your inventory and added to your kobold hoard.
It's not a hoard, it's a collection.
It's a horde, darn it.
A horde by any other name.
Peter, you open up the letter and you can tell that the actually, give me investigation, Peter.
No, I can't. Oh, maybe with a 12.
Well, you can't really tell who it was addressed to, but it was obviously addressed to someone that knew of this location and knew of your involvement with English intelligence, as it's quite literally labeled English Intelligence Greenwich. However, the name that it's actually addressed to seems to have been kind of smudged, as well as the location it was sent from, which, with that 12, seems to suggest it looks like a stamp from Morocco, since it seems to have the Moroccan flag in it, or what may have been the Moroccan flag before the letter was run the fuck over by something. You open it on up and you read to it. Let me send it to you, and this is inside your letter.
I'm gonna stop at Darling Roy, and I'm gonna
Oh no.
I'm gonna close it back up, and I'm gonna go put it in Leroy's room.
Okay.
Aw, how nice.
Aw. I should have given
You know
it
what,
to her.
I'll DM it to him. Hang on.
No, he hasn't read it yet.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna DM it to him, and I'm gonna leave a note with the letter that I
Gotcha.
leave to him. So
Okay.
I'm gonna add that. So I'm gonna DM it to him, so he, unless you particularly don't want me to
Just
give
let
it
him
to
know
him.
that you're leaving a letter in his door, and the note
You're
that
gonna
you
leave
want
a letter
attached
with
to
the
it.
letter?
Okay.
You're gonna leave a letter with the letter?
Yeah.
You're such a nice guy. Freaking
Aw.
Torn would have read.
I should have given it to Torn to read. Damn.
Meanwhile, you have a guy who
Yeah,
snoops
I
and
should have
steals
given it to.
everything.
I should have given it to Torn to read. Fucking sends me smut in my DMs. God damn it, man.
Yeah, give it to the
Why
guy
not?
who steals and takes stuff and just reads everybody. Give it to somebody who literally met with the devil.
Yeah, sure.
Give
it
it
to the
somebody who
saint.
used
Yeah.
chemical weapons on
Give
a
it-
daily basis.
Give it to the saint. Yeah.
So-
That's nice of him, though. I'm glad. You feel a nice, happy smile look down upon you, like, good job. Like,
These guys,
Yeah.
these fucking mail fuckers, really need to stop sending mail to the wrong place.
they stuck it on the wrong door. It happens. However, as you guys grab your stuff, you're able to walk back out. Are you wearing any of the hats in specific, Torn?
He's still wearing Leroy's hat.
All right. Peter and Torn, you guys are able to reconvene and start making your way down the hall, and you're gonna make your way over to the historical wing and historical research and archives to meet up with the Greek and Mediterranean
club.
history specialists.
That's one way to put it.
However, before we get to
Make
those
sure you call the
guys,
Italians losers.
we will resume with your guys' endeavor next week, as we will pan on over to Nikos and Wilhelm. You guys said you were going to R&D, and then you were going to swing by the range, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Alrighty. Doesn't take you guys very long. You walk your way on over, the two of you kind of strutting. As you make your way into R&D, it is once again not as organized as it used to be.
Gotten worse?
It's gotten a little bit worse. It would seem.
Hang on. So Leroy has his phone, right? So he was able to read the messages I sent him. I sent him a message saying I got a letter that was meant for you, and he thought I meant in real life.
Oh my god.
It's from your beloved. What? Oh man, that'd be fucking hilarious.
He's like, what? What the? How? How'd you get this?
That'd be impressive.
That'd be fucking
I
great.
mean, we're not that many zip codes off anymore.
Anymore.
Living completely
It's
two
like a
different states
half
and
state.
Hey, it's probably only one number apart, to be honest, if it's that, you know,
Yeah.
if it's only one state different.
Oh
Though
man.
actually, no, there's probably a couple more numbers now that I realize.
Actually, no, it's
how-
probably a whole state because we're both maybe 2/3 of a state.
But,
two-thirds compromise head ass.
We'll pan on over. Yeah, the two of you are able to walk in. It's
We are
not
going to
quite as
R&D.
organized. There's a lot of crates getting pushed around again, and if you didn't know better, it would seem a lot of the stuff that you guys had recovered in Egypt, as well as what seems to be a lot of stuff labeled with some sort of Spanish language, are also being pushed around and pushed into slots where they're going to be archived, opened up. Some of the boxes being dropped off at different tables for people to eventually get to and start looking into. But it's the usual humdrum and rollabout that's going on.
So when I walk in, I'm gonna look towards some of the people I've talked to in the past,
Mhm.
and walk up to them.
Ah,
Hello.
Hello.
Have you made any more headway on the concrete, the self-expanding concrete?
Oh, we actually exported that. Trying to figure out exactly how it worked. Admittedly, a little bit above our heads. We did export that to the college in. Where did we send that? Was it Dublin? Dublin, yes. Ah, yes. We exported that to a college in Dublin.
Ah, okay. Well, we are here because we heard that you happen to. Actually, we are here because we, in our mission to Egypt, which I can see you got some of our.
Yes, it just came
wares
in
and
last night, in
fees.
fact.
We have some more things for you.
Yep.
Oh.
Specifically, Nikos has. Oh, by the way,
Yep.
this is Nikos. Nikos, these are the mad
Nice to meet you.
scientists, as we say.
Hello.
Oh no, more of you?
They might not be as mad as I am.
Okay.
Give
Good.
me a perception roll, the two of you.
They are more
Alright.
mad. Okay. Oh, where's my other mouse? There it is. Okay. Perception. My first roll of the day. Not bad. Not good, but not bad.
As you say, more of you, you see specifically a person, one of the scientists standing in the back, putting a ring on, and then, like,
Oh.
raising their head up, and a second one of them pop up, a third one, and a fourth one, and a fifth one, all doing the same mirrored movements as him, as two of the other scientists start pointing fingers and kind of laughing and smiling, and he's, like, taking it on and off as it keeps happening.
I walk up to
Oh.
him, and I start poking the other ones, seeing if they are illusions or another version of him.
Your hand goes clean through it.
I thought it might be an
Oh.
illusion. I
Was this in the
wondered.
I fall over. Was this in the batch that came over from Egypt?
kind of looks over to you and the others. No, in fact, we just received this from, I believe it was South Africa? South Africa. Yes, South Africa.
Was this
Another
something
combat team, recovered
this
some
something that
magical
the-
items.
the Strike Witches, or whatever their name is, procured?
I'm not familiar, but perhaps?
Well, okay, that sounds good. But
Anyway,
anyway, sorry. We'll go back to the other gentleman that we were talking to.
Right. Goes back to
uh,
messing with the ring, and the other two are kind of leaning in, looking at it.
And anyway, we were in the
Yes,
tomb.
you said you brought something from your time in
Yeah.
Cairo?
a piece
yeah,
of a giant murderous scorpion machine
A
thing.
magnetic scorpion
Yeah.
machine, and it may be very interesting to you.
Go on.
No, hand
Well,
over
I-
the piece.
It's more of a show and tell type of thing, but
Takes the piece, instantly reaches over and grabs what looks like a hollowed circle of very shiny gray metal, holds it up to it, and it gives a very loud clack as it just pulls towards it and magnifies to it. And he's just, huh.
So, as you can see, when we were in the tomb, this was one of the guardians, and it happened to have, it basically, it came out of a few of the different sarcophagi there, and congealed? I don't think that's the right word.
Assembled?
Assembled, yeah, assembled. I like that word. Assembled itself together in a giant metallic scorpion thing, which is very
Right.
advanced for that far back in
Was there
Egypt.
any semblance of magic or arcane controlling this, or?
Well, I mean,
Nikos?
it moved on its own, so I assume so.
Huh. Very
I-
interesting.
I honestly don't know. I think somebody looked at it, but I honestly didn't get a chance to very in-depth look at the potential arcane products, arcane
Properties.
aspects of it.
You seem to be a bit tired. Don't worry. We will, yes, thank you. We will bring this to the top of the list to investigate. Quite interesting. We have a few, metallurgists and, geologists who perhaps could help quite a bit in deciphering the material and composition of it. And you see them set it to the side on top of a, kind of like a pillow on a towel on the table.
Also, I was told that there is a Prussian artifact that was found in the sea to the north of
Yes, the
Germany.
ballistic calibration device. We have given that to our weapons research and development, the handful of the madmen that they are. They shouldn't be on
Yes.
the range. I believe they have been attempting to affix it, but unable to.
Yes. Is there anything that you could tell me about it before I headed down there?
Not the thing.
Okay. That's good. The artillery and ballistics is my specialty, so I perhaps will go take a look. I might be back in the next couple days before we leave to another mission.
Of course, our efforts are available whenever you should need them.
It's more of just checking in. I like hanging out with you guys. You guys are very like-minded. It's fun coming here.
I'm glad to hear.
But you have a very good day. Wunderbar. That means wonderful. I can't
Goodbye.
remember how to say goodbye. Yeah.
Auf Wiedersehen?
Oh yeah. Auf Wiedersehen.
Gives a nice
Thank you.
nod. The other one gives kind of a half wave as they go back to looking over the piece that you gave them. And the two of you will be able to make your way back out, having dropped that off. I could add that to my notes for side research progress. And you guys will make your way over to what you knew to be the very small sort of 3-lane rifle range. Oh god. God, he had to put it in text. You guys make your way over to where the range was, and you can see where there's a new, almost like basement entrance, that you'd find like alongside a house, that you're able to walk down the steps into, and it very quickly juts off to the side, and you can decipher you're maybe 30 feet deep, as you come across what seems to be about 20 feet across and about 15 feet tall, just solid, long, I want to say about 40 yards range, cut out of the earth tunnel. At the end of that tunnel is a couple lights and wires running along the ceiling, with what looks like a few targets that have taken significant impacts. As you guys walk to the head of the range, there's 2 small tables set up, and you can see remnants of a few 20mm, 30mm, 75mm tank shells laying on the ground that have been expended, and drag marks and grind marks in the floor where various anti-tank guns have been positioned and assembled down here to be tested. At the moment, there is what looks like 3 kind of uniformed but sort of dirty gentlemen standing around, half-dress uniform. They're very not official, it would seem. Standing around a tiny, kind of wagon-wheeled artillery battery with a very short barrel. And they seem to be having some really thick gloves on and trying to focus on what looks like a little mechanical device that they're trying to mount to the side of it and getting frustrated with.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
I am Wilhelm Schwartz. I am
You're the
actually
artillerist,
part of-
correct?
Yeah.
Ah,
that
perfect.
is-
Come here.
that's-
We need you.
Hello.
Okay. I walk over there.
Come.
Very-
How do you do your Prussian magic artillery? Here you go. And the two of them step back, and he grabs this artillery sight and plaps it down in your hand. Roll me Arcana and Perception.
Oof. Arcana not great, but perception really good.
It starts to give a very faint, kind of bluish, dim glow to it as it lands in your hand that it wasn't doing previously. It is in fact a artillery sight, one that you would affix to the side of a gun to help you directly aim the gun better, almost like a iron sight for cannons, for lack of better words.
Do you mind if I try something real quick?
By all means, we were trying to figure out. We know how the artillery sight works, but we don't know exactly how this one mounts. There's no mounting points, and we didn't want to risk welding it just yet.
Okay. Let me try something with my own design and see if I can affix essentially my own.
We understand you have magical artillery. Please, do your thing, And they get back and they kind of put their backs to the wall to watch.
Alright, so I pull out one of my kits, which I think is Smith Tools at this point.
Okay.
Which I can use pretty much anything to do things, because it's fun. And so Oop, wrong thing. I create my Eldritch Cannon. I create a small version of it, so it's a little bit more blown up. This time when I make it with almost like a little arm that comes off of it on the top that can essentially hold the artillery sight. And like kind of plop it in like a little holster type thing for it. And when my cannon's done, I have it essentially climb itself on the table and drop the artillery sight right inside that little hold that I created with it.
Okay, so you're run that by me again. You're making a little pouch for it to carry it on you, and then you're trying to mount it to the ballista.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost like a rail system that comes up on the side of it, like an arm. Think of like a I can't think of a weapon that has this exact type thing to it. But it would essentially be almost like affixing a scope on like a Mosin, how it has like that side arm that comes up to kind of hold it.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Because it doesn't have a rail system.
Roll me,
so it's basically
roll me tools.
Okay. Smith's tools. I'm assuming. It doesn't
Yep.
matter. They're all the same.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You go
Do I
to
get
mount
advantage on
it, and you try to start attaching it to it, and you're finding none of the tools are working. You're in no way, shape, or form are you able to work it to actually connect. If anything, it seems like it's not wanting to connect at all with conventional items.
Scheisse. This might be because I'm a squash bit tired from my journey. Can I just do a general intelligence check looking at the scope itself or the site itself?
Roll me intelligence, we'll see what comes up.
That's a lot better.
You get the notion it's a magical device that mounts to a sort of ethereal, non-existent magical device. Welding it and soldering it ain't gonna work. It's going to connect magically.
Okay. My Arcana roll. With my Arcana roll, I know it wasn't the greatest. Can I at least know if this item requires any type of attunement to it?
Yeah, you might have to give that a try.
Okay. Can I do another Arcana?
You can indeed.
Damn it! My rolls for Arcana are shite today.
You see a little bit of a faint glow as you go to where it would normally be connected, and you try to focus on it for a second. It looks like it wants to connect, but you can't quite muster the magic into it to do so at the moment.
Gotcha. Like I said, this might be something that I might have to try at a later date. As of right now, I might be a bit tired. Let me try some weird shit. Just see what happens. I'm going to look through the site itself, focus on a target with it, and then fire my force ballista and see if there's any connection there between me and my magical item and this magical item.
You'll aim through it, and your force ballista will aim where you're aiming, and it will, in fact, fire with a nice, loud pump that it usually gives as it fires the blast out and destroys an old wooden chair at the end of the tunnel. But it doesn't seem like it actually affected it in any way using the site.
Because the next thing I was just gonna put the sight down and try the same thing. Okay. From my brief glimpse at it, I would have to study it a bit more to
believe it is magically mounted. It might require more magic. We're not really familiar with how oppression or magic works.
This is very valid. I have the at least skill for both of those things. Can I? So intelligence is my spellcaster modifier.
Yes.
Can I try to use? I guess Arcana would be the thing. I essentially want to use my spellcaster. Ooh, I got an idea. I'm gonna pull out one of my pistols to use as kind of like as a focus, because my pistol is my focus. Actually, sorry, my pistol is not my focus anymore. My MP28 is now my focus.
Yep.
So I'm gonna pull out my MP28 and basically use it as my focus to kind of like try to reaffix it to my cannon using magical means. Like, basically, I'm
Roll
going
me
to
Arcana with advantage now that you are using your focus.
Okay, cool.
He did
Let's,
it. He figured it out.
Let's go.
Now let's
Nice
not
work.
roll Arcana shite. It's better.
Hey.
Better.
So now, holding your machine gun in hand, you kind of grip it tight and you grab the arty sight and you press it to where normally it would mount. And for half a moment, it doesn't seem to do anything until you feel and can see a little bit of a glow as the sight fixes itself to the side of the ballista.
Okay, now I look down the sight and fire my ballista.
I would like you and Nikos, as you get behind it and aim through the arty sight like you would a normal anti-tank gun, I would like the two of you to make me a Give me 1 second to double check.
A death saving.
Both of you to make me a con save.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I had advantage on. I'm sorry about that. But the first one wasn't nat 20 anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Wilhelm, you're gonna pass it, only taking a quarter of the damage. Nikos, you are going to take the full damage.
Oh boy. All right.
And I will explain what
No,
goes
fine.
on here. Oh, cool. Look at that. You take 2 damage. You don't take
Ow.
any damage, Wilhelm. The guys in the room are smacked against the wall. Wilhelm, thankfully you're used to artillery and firing it next to your head. You duck your head just right as a loud, thundering explosion emanates out of it. Nikos, you have to throw your shield up for a moment as it just fucking, like, it is not so much that it's concussive because you're in the tunnel. This is just sheer raw kickback of it.
Does
Wilhelm.
my turret go flying back?
No, the turret stays in place. I would like you to roll me... Let me double check here. Roll me 10d8 5 times.
Oh.
Okay.
That certainly put a bigger
So-
kick into the cannon, huh?
I don't think Wilhelm ducked at all. I think he stood there smiling with his hands on his hips, perfectly still while this happened. And
5
his
times?
mustache fluttered,
Yep.
and his coat flew back.
Yeah.
But he didn't fucking flinch or move.
That's actually an even better visual, yeah.
Just boom.
So let's see,
How
what
Oh,
is
I might have
that?
done that 6.
1,
Oh,
2, 3,
mate.
4,
5 or
5, 6. Yeah, you did that 6
I might have
times.
6, okay.
Let's see,
Well, it
so
doesn't matter.
that's 30, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 140, 180, 192... Just over 200 with the first 5. 200 points of force damage as... And mind the music. Your cannon
God damn.
detonates. The new stats for your cannon.
He knocked the needle onto the phonograph in the corner.
The arcane ballistic calibration. When mounting this with one action, your next turn you are able to fire your ballista with a supercharged Prussian artillery battery. All friendlies or enemies within 40 feet of the cannon when firing must pass a con save or take 2d4 force damage and be deafened for approximately 2 turns.
What?
The magical battery fires a rapid burst volley of overcharged charges, firing 5 projectiles that have a range of 120 feet
Supercharge!
each.
Supercharge!
Each can
Supercharge!
land where the caster dictates, each projectile causing 10d8 force or necrotic damage within 15 feet of its place of impact. Dex save negates half of the damage. Once fired, artillery will disassemble and be unusable for a total of 3 long rests until you are able to use it again. The device falls to the ground once used, requiring to be recovered. And I
Okay,
will copy-paste that to you.
Broken arrow, broken arrow, broken arrow.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
God
That's the weird
damn.
fuck setting.
Yeah.
We just, what was it, 5d8?
I'll copy-paste it here for you.
10d8 5 times.
Likewise, player.
So whenever you mount the sight to it with an action, your next turn, you can do a Hail Mary, where your ballista will fire 5 overcharged shots before disassembling
Can I just
for
write
3
that
long
as,
rests.
can I just write that as 50d8?
If you want to put all 5 shots on the same target, sure.
Oh, that's right, okay.
It's 5 separate targets. It works like magic missile.
Damn.
Glass is not clear, not clear, not clear.
Well, I think when Horse comes back, he's in for a surprise.
Holy crap.
As
Okay,
the ear ringing
so-
slowly starts to fade,
By the
and
way,
everybody starts to realize what just happened.
The
I'm gonna
end
go
of
over the guys
tunnel falls
after I
in.
stop being giddy. I'm gonna go over them and be like, I am very sorry, do any of you require a IFAC or
One
healing?
of them is saying mop, the other one has a bloody nose, and the other one is just looking awestruck, getting himself up, like, with the table.
That's
was
one hell of a scope you got there.
Oh, that's You know what? That's yours. You can keep that one. We have a few others we can test with. That is yours.
I'm imagining the end of the tunnel collapsing inwards.
Pretty much.
Damn. Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
you can keep that device. As you look back, the ballista is slowly falling apart and crumbling to the ground as the artillery sight lands on the ground with a little clink.
Scheiße. I suppose that's gonna take me a minute to So, I can't bring back my ballista? Or
You
I
will
just
be
can't use the
unable to
sight?
bring back your ballista until 3 long rests.
Okay, so 3 days from now. This is a broken arrow, broken arrow, broken arrow type of situation.
However, as you recollect the sight and with a mop, ringing ears, you guys make your way out as those three start to look at the devastated tunnel and the scoop marks where the ballista used to be set up and start talking among themselves as the two of you exit out. And with Precia's glory, we will end today's session, where we will pick up next session with Hachu hitting up Picatrix, Torn and Peter visiting the fan club, Leroy catching up on what he missed and what he will be doing, and then you guys beginning your 3 days of free activities and interactions, and we'll see where those take us.
Is everyone gonna be going on the Griffin Hunt?
I
I think so.
Yep. The
I think
full
so,
party will be
probably.
going after the Griffin, which will be I want to say, unless you guys really drag it out, the first bit of next session.
I mean, it depends on how much you make us look for the Griffin.
Uh-huh.
Depends on how good your search rolls are, aren't they? Haha.
I mean,
So it's gonna be 2.5 sessions.
And all we found
Yeah,
is homeless
probably.
people.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so I gotta do
As
one
I
more
end the
thing.
stream.
Oh, okay.
He's just like walking out, smiling with his hands on his hips.
Lessons learned on the razor's edge, promises sworn on the ancient ledge, bruised and battered, but standing tall.